we speaking it clear. Real talk, real change in your face, we hear. In your face, we say it bold, no delay. Truth and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire in your face, right here. In your face, 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 in your face. We talking life, we talking change, we talk solutions. From the street to leaders, sparking revolution. No filter, no fear, just real conversation. Building up the proof, uplift the nation. Ideas flow like the ocean tide. Different views, but we stand with pride. From young to old, everybody got a say. Tune in, lean in, hear what we convey. Say okay. In your face, we say it bold, no delay. Truth and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire in your face, right there. In your face, 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 in your face. Yeah. It's in your face, feel the energy rise. Open up your mind, let's visualize. Better days coming, we paving the way. Join the movement every Saturday. It's in your face, yeah, we keep it true. From the heart of the island straight to you. No hiding, no running from the issues we face. We confront it head on, right in your face. Solutions build when we risen as one. Unity strong like the morning sun. Yes, up, talk it out, walk it out, make a plan. Together we rise, that's the mission we stand. In your face, we say it bold, no delay. Truth and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire on in your face, right there. In your face, 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 yeah. In your face, pick up the herb, it's your word, all conversation, identity voices, real solutions, don't miss it, every right Saturday. In your face, in your face. What may not like you say? In your face, in your face, in your face, in your face. In your face, yeah. Island vibes, we bring it true to light night. Turn up the sound, let the people unite. From the heart of PF, we speaking it clear. Real talk, real change in your face, we hear. In your face, we say it bold, no delay. Truth and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire in your face, right here. In your face, 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 in your face. Yeah. We talking life, we talking change, we talk solutions. From the street to leaders, sparking revolution. No filter, no fear, just real conversation. Building up the proof, uplift the nation. Ideas flow like the ocean tide. Different views, but we stand with pride. From young to old, everybody got a say. Tune in, lean in, hear what we convey. Say okay. In your face, we say it bold, no.
Well, good night, everybody. I hope you can hear us pretty well tonight. We're here live in your face tonight, and we hope that Sarah will join us a little bit later. But tonight, you got myself and Harold, and we're happy to be here with you. And we got some folks from Agriculture Department in Anguilla that we're going to be discussing an event that's coming up. We got them backstage right now, but hopefully they will come in at the moment. Good night, Harold. Just want to introduce yourself again and say hello.
Well, good night, Vanya. Good night, everyone, listeners near and far. I do hope that we would have a very interesting session this evening with members from the Agricultural Department, no doubt under the leadership of Mr. Dwight Carty, who is described as the interim director.
All right. Dwight, I don't know if you can hear us, but I know you're online. And
Good night.
uh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you pretty well.
All right.
What about you want to show your face or what?
Yeah, I can show my face.
Yeah,
I ain't
okay, you
ugly. I ain't ugly.
All right. And we also got Trenton, Miss Roach. You there?
Yeah. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Okay. Your camera's off.
Yeah, I don't have one on this computer. This kind of old computer, kind of back in the 60s.
I get no
I mean,
problem.
I'm at the office, so.
Oh, okay. All right, Dwight, let's start with you. Introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and then we're gonna get to the event and stuff after. But go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us your position
Okay.
and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, good night, listeners. Good night, Vanya. Good night, Harold. Good night to all persons in the region and diaspora, the United States, all over. My name is Dwight Carty. I'm presently now waiting to take the leadership mantle at the Department of Natural Resources Agriculture Unit, replacing Mr. William Vanterpool, who is on his way out of service. I have 30 years at the Department of Agriculture.
Wow.
I have started there in 1996 as a casual worker, moved up to veterinary assistant after attending school, then to livestock officer, then to my present role, which is senior animal health officer. And now in a couple of weeks, I'll be taking the mantle as Director of Agriculture and Natural Resources.
Congratulations on that. Yeah.
All right,
And
thank
I
you.
see we got Deanne. Hold on, the mic is.
The
Good night, panel. I always use that name, and if you don't mind, I will prefer.
Dean.
I am the Aldine. Good night, everybody, once again, and all those tuned in. My name is Aldine Trim, and I am the Livestock Development Officer at the Department of Natural Resources. I have started my career in Anguilla as a teacher. I have been in that in the teaching profession for 30 years. I have served more than half of that 30 in Anguilla. And then I transitioned to the Department of Natural Resources, served somewhat in the conservation education and marketing position at the department. And as of 2024, sorry, I was transferred into the livestock development position, which is my forte, and I am there currently.
Nice.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Trenton.
good night with the listeners. Good night to who's abroad. My name is Trenton Roach. I'm the horticulturist with the Department of Natural Resource Agriculture Unit. I'm in this position for the past 20 years. Since I joined government, I'm in this position. I enjoy what I do. I do it because I love it. And my main role is to basically transfer information and technology from the department to the farmers, assist them with all of the problems that they face in the field, and try to find a suitable solution. And while doing that, try to use the most safe as possible way to the environment as possible.
Nice. I see we got Solo just joining. Yeah, that's great. Sounds like you got a lot of knowledge here amongst us, and you guys, I'm really proud of you guys and what you're doing. You know, Dwight, congratulations again. So you're putting Will into retirement and taking the helm. That's great.
Well, thank
Solo?
you, Vanya. I ain't taking Willie out of retirement, though. Willie took himself.
Solo, I see you there having snacks or something.
Well, let me say good evening to the panel. Good evening to our viewers, to our listeners, wherever you are. A special good evening to you all. Well, what did I hear there just now? My good old buddy there, Willie, is going to be sailing off in the sunset, retirement. Is that so?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's about time. He's been there a long time. He's been, you know.
Yeah, he's been in that position for a long time, but he's still a youngster by a stretch of the imaginations.
That's true.
He's still a youngster, you know.
I'm
But-
proud to see that a young man taking over as well and going into boot, you know, which is great.
So who is the successor? Who will be succeeding him?
It might be
I will be
Dwight.
that person.
Who?
I will
Right,
be
yeah.
that person that takes up the mantle.
My good old buddy Dwight.
Yeah, good old buddy Dwight.
Dwight, congratulations.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Solomon.
How long you been working in that department?
Well, 30 years
Nice.
from the bottom
30
up.
years.
Yeah.
And what were some of the greatest experiences during your 30 years that you would like to speak to?
I mean, just walking around farmers on a whole, you meet some very interesting persons when you're dealing with farmers. You get all kind of different personalities. The technologies that you would have learned over the years. I think that's what fascinated me and kept my feet to the ground at the department.
You know, there was one time, you know, I think I spoke to it on the radio that I was in the wrong profession. You were, what was, I'm trying to get it right. You know, where you go out and you neuter the animals and so
Yeah,
forth.
veterinary assistant.
Right. So I used to always brag and say, I used to say sometimes I'm in the wrong profession. I want to be a veterinarian, you know, because I hear all that good stuff that you were doing on cats.
We got a department don't deal with cats.
Puppies and dogs.
No, but you know, I used to found the amusement because the cat part of it, he will know exactly where I'm coming from. You know too, Vanya, so don't try to play ignorant. But anyhow, I must say that you come in this position, you were assuming this position with an enormous amount of knowledge under your belt, being there for 30-odd years, and I must say, truly deserving. And I, on behalf of my team here at In Your Face, and by extension, all Anguilla, we feel proud of you, Dwight. We feel proud of you.
Thank you.
I've known you all the years as a South Valley man, but you know, you take your job very serious, your profession, that is. And I am delighted to hear that you will now be, what the position will be?
Director of Agriculture.
Director.
Department of Natural Resources.
That's a heavy name, you know, Dwight.
Director.
You know what director is, right?
Yes, I do.
You got
Right, and I want to say, as we would say in the local terminology, the local language, big up yourself, brother. Big up, man. X amount of respect.
I really appreciate it.
Respect in every aspect, brother. And I know you will do wonders in the service. Congratulations again.
I believe I have a capable team, a knowledgeable team that is ready to work. So we will get some things done.
Well, I know that for a fact. You're a no-nonsense man, have always been. Take it very serious, whether it's in the entertainment section or whatever you know, you always, whatever you do, you give it your best. You give it your all. And I am one to say here how proud I am. Not because you hail from my village of South Valley, but because of who you are as a dedicated person. You know, you take what you do seriously. And I've watched you. You're very humble. Over the years, I've seen you go from strength to strength. And I can't but salute you and say congratulations.
Thank you again, sir.
All right. I kind of join in here late this evening because I had a few engagements, and, you know, Vanya would not feel pleased if I didn't show my face in the place, in your face. So I had to hurry what I was doing to get here to have this discussion. And I'm grateful, too, that I made it to give my congratulations to you right here and now. So I feel fantastic. So going forward, what are some of your plans going forward for the agricultural department?
Well, I, along with the team, we plan to expand our knowledge in agriculture by introducing a few initiatives. There are already some initiatives at the
What are some of
department.
those initiatives? What are some of those
Okay,
initiatives?
well, let me speak to the livestock part of it first. We have the genetic improvement program where we're increasing the gene pool by introducing a new gene
Mm-hmm.
to the of livestock
Mm-hmm.
to help improve our meat and breeding
Yeah.
systems. That is one. The second one would be right now we run the chick initiative where we bring in day old chicks to help farmers as a subsidized cost from government to
Mm-hmm.
help them with their production, um, egg production and broiler production. In the crop
And
section,
how is that initiative? How that has been going so far? Because you've been running that now for some time. How's that been
yeah.
going?
Ms. Trim, you want to expound on that, please?
Go ahead, sir.
Mello, Cello, my dear friend, I'm really happy to see you.
Well,
I
but
want.
but but oh Lord, have mercy, mercy me. I did not know my good
Don't
friend
say it. Don't say
is
it. Good night.
no, I'm not gonna say it. No, no, no,
Don't
no,
say.
no. I'm gonna give you kudos. I did not know that you were part of the panel. You see, because I could have I would have joined in late, and for that I apologize. But I did not look at the screen and see that beautiful face there, and in your face. Welcome, Al Aldine,
Thank you.
Prim. Good evening to you. So glad to have you on the program. Welcome.
Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to shed light, if you don't mind, Mr. Carty. We can just step back a little on the genetic improvement program, and then I can delve into the Deal Chick initiative. For the genetic improvement program, it's one of the capital projects. We have introduced, um, we have the 18 animals that we brought in sometime in October. We have 6 Dorper sheep, we have 6 Nubian goats, and we have 6 Boer goats. And the main objective, just to add to what Mr. Carty said, the main objective with this project is that we would
Mhm.
like to upgrade the genetic pool that we have. So it's not like we do not have the Nubian breed in Anguilla, but we do not have pure breed animals because over the years, there would have been a decline in structured breeding. And so what happened is that our genetic makeup, our genetic pool would have been depleted because of inbreeding.
Right.
Imagine Melo selling you in the valley and you would have purchased an animal from, let's say, Vanya in Island Harbor. But because you are not aware of the relationship between these two animals, then you end up mating siblings.
Second cousins.
And
Oh,
yes, and so we know that, that has a lot of challenges when you have a lot of inbreeding. So what we want to do, we are now upgrading the animal, the genetic pool for farmers in Anguilla. So we have rolled out the Anguilla National Genetic Improvement Program, and that's mainly for sheep and goats. And we are selling the idea of superior breeds for quality food. Um, it is a program that is on the way. We have started the rollout process. We now are in the selection phase. We are educating farmers regarding which of your animals will most fit the program because all of your animals may not be selected. And Mr. Carty would be able to join in again and share some of the criteria that we look for. But we have a criteria set. Persons will be required to register with the program. And with the genetic improvement program, so we have 2 types of I don't want to say copulation, but we will be using artificial insemination at some phase in the project. So we will use a natural mating and artificial insemination. And at the end of the day, it's to improve on our milk because a lot of persons are not aware. Like in Anguilla, most people do not use goat milk, but goat milk is so nutritious. The fat globules are smaller than cow's milk, best for babies. In Anguilla, we also have someone who is currently making yogurt and goat cheese. So we want to expand on the milk production. So we have the Nubian, which are good milk breeds, and then we have the Boer goats, which are more the meat type. And so, to encompass all of that, our objective is to upgrade the genetic pool in Anguilla.
Wow, that's beautiful.
May I continue into the old chick initiative?
Right.
So that is an initiative which started, Mr. Carty, was it in 2023 or 4? 2024?
2023.
Right. And so it is an initiative whereby the government has been subsidizing the cost of the chicks. Um, it was somewhere around 29 point something percent, and over the past couple of months or the last year or so, we rounded up to 30%. So the government has been subsidizing, let us say, an average of 30% of the cost of the DO chicks. And what we do, we would advertise. We have a window period where people can call in and place the order. And once we have our total numbers required, then we will officially place the order with the supplier. Once we get our overall cost, we, get into the math and we remove the 30%, and then each person will know thereafter what is their actual cost. I must say that we have brought in a few thousand birds over the past 3 years, and we have a batch coming in very soon. It should be somewhere close to about 3,000. So let us say about 2,500 to 3,000 somewhere there. I cannot give you the exact figure. And that should be sometime end of May, June. And I must say that several persons who were not even involved in poultry production, who had no knowledge, would have placed an order. So what the department has been doing thus far, we have been educating farmers, whether you order 2, and yes, we do have people ordering 2 Melucello.
2.
Mr. Ruan, you with us? I
Yes,
want to refer to
certainly.
you by name. So whether or not somebody would have ordered 2, or the large scale producers would have ordered 1,500, we still educate persons in terms of how do you care for the chicks, because once you spend $1, you want returns. We educate people. So we have been hosting a lot of workshops to educate people, and we also would have ramped up on our extension services. So we actually, once the people would have purchased, we also do follow up with them. We go to where you have the birds and make sure that the welfare of the chicken is taken care of. We talk in nutrition, we talk in housing, and general husbandry practices. And that's it in a nutshell for the 2 initiatives.
Well, let me say here that I applaud that initiative because, I am one that believe in eat what you grow. You mentioned about goat cheese, you mentioned about goat milk, and you took me back many years ago when my grandmother used to milk the goats. And I could tell you there was nothing better than that, bro. Nothing better than that. I used to milk those goats every morning for her. And, we used to make tea with the milk and stuff like that. So just to hear you mention that, it is good in the sense that because nowadays, you always hear, you go and you purchase stuff from a supermarket. You don't know how long that was packaged and shipped to your island in the whole process, But here in Anguilla, you know what you got. You know what you got.
Yes.
So I think that's the best way to go. Local, eat local.
And
I've been eating local now for Miss Dean. I've been eating local now for quite a while, whether it's the eggs or what have you.
nice.
I love to support local.
That's the way to
Protein.
go. Buy local. When
That's
you
right.
buy local, you encourage local production. So
Of course.
thanks for leading the way.
Mello,
Yeah.
I could interject to you. I hear you talking about the stuff coming into the supermarkets. Remember, we got to markets that support the local farmers as well. So let's don't take
Well,
that away
I
from them.
am not. No, don't get me wrong, Mr. Carty. I
Mr.
am
Roach.
not in no way condemning the supermarkets. Now, when you go to the supermarkets, you have to look for what's local and you buy local. I applaud all of that. But I'm simply saying that local is the way to go. I'm not, I'm
Okay,
not
okay.
trying to.
That's clarifying. That's clarifying.
Well, I am glad that you mentioned that because I bring more clarification on that. You know what I mean?
Okay, good, good. Because we got
Yeah.
people like J.W. Proctor's, Ashley and
Guys,
Sons.
you're welcome.
They take a lot of the local stuff from the farmers, you know.
So, Dwight, you guys, the main reason why you guys are here tonight, I guess, is to really talk about this event that's coming up Friday.
Yeah, so
Sounds like a new something for Anguilla.
well, it's not new. We've been doing it in the past years. We did it over a couple of years, but we took a pause on it. We had some events that we labeled Market Day in the past that would have been more recent, but we decided with our outgoing director to bring back something big and to see that we're going into a new venture. We decided to bring it back and make it annual again. And we're trying to make it big so that the director could feel well.
Get honored.
Yeah.
See his hard work. So tell us a little bit about this event. What's it going to be about? I miss Dean.
Oh, so I would have preferred if Mr. Carty lead the way. I want to give him that honor tonight. Please, Mr.
Ladies first.
Carty.
Ladies first.
I would like to lead the way, but I am not yet fully briefed on all of these things while I was doing my own work.
There you go.
You still got an idea, so don't play smart.
Yeah, smart, you understand, bro?
So the AgriFest is encompassing a lot of different things that we do in Anguilla, from the crop farming to the livestock farming, crafts, beverage processing with processing of vegetables, the drinks. So we're trying to keep everything natural and local, where the event is trying to capture what can be done in Anguilla in terms of planting and how much can be done in Anguilla. We're also trying to encourage persons in Anguilla to eat local, like you say, and grow their own food to an extent. We're trying also to honor our farmers, to show them that we haven't forgotten them and that we're still going to be here by giving our extension services, increasing our extension services, and trying to touch the youth as well with this exhibition. We have a couple of dignitaries coming in from different islands as well to see what we're putting on. So we're really trying to go above and beyond to showcase Anguilla's potential. Because the main thing the main focus for us going forward is to food security, sustainability, to make sure that we could sustain ourselves. We're not looking to compete with exports. We're just looking to sustain.
I like that idea, Dwight. Sustainability, that sounds good. I like that. I commend that, and I know that in time to come, I think this whole initiative could only get stronger, could only grow from strength to strength. I would one day want to see where all the supermarkets on the island, I don't know if you would have, the demand. I don't know if you'd be able to do that. But there comes a time when you would want to see all the supermarkets just staying local,
That is our aim. I mean, we might not be able to replenish the whole thing one time, but we're trying to cut the percentage of imports coming into our islands by at least 50%.
I hear you, brother. I feel you.
Nice.
I feel you.
May I ask?
I think what we need to start doing is at increments. You got to look at 5%, 10%, 50% before we start taking 50.
mhm.
50 is a very large number. The Caribbean in
Right, right,
general
right.
had a 25
50
by
is the goal.
25.
50 is the
Physical,
goal. 50 is
yeah.
not.
Yeah, that's very ambitious. What I'm saying is very ambitious because the
Yeah, we're gonna
Caribbean
make
had
it
a
happen.
25 by 25, and they couldn't even achieve that. And that's the
Trust me.
whole Caribbean. What
So they
about
had
little
a
small
plus
Angola,
five.
if you understand what I mean?
If Dwight says it's
Sorry,
gonna happen, it's
guys.
gonna happen, right?
One of my colleagues is asking, where can they view the live? What's the Facebook page, if you don't mind?
It's on my Facebook. Cello it shows on his sheet on his. It should
So,
be on Cool
okay,
FM.
Cool FM. Okay, thank you.
You can go to Vania EXA. Cool.
Thank you.
Or if you got on your
Sorry,
Facebook, you
Roach.
share it on
It's
yours.
fine.
Okay.
It's just fine. Just trying to tell Dwight that being so ambitious is kind of like self-incriminating. You know, you got to increments. You do 5 by 5 by
Mr.
5. You know,
Roach,
going to 50% is
Mr.
like
Roach,
very
if you know
ambitious.
Mr. Dwight Carty, we could get there in some
You
time.
get that.
Okay,
We're gonna get there.
I
But-
strongly
but-
disagree, but let's go.
But Mr. Roach, Anguilla is not a small island, and I don't think that's impossible because before everybody used to have their own goats and sheep and their own milk and own eggs in the back. So important is something new to Anguilla. So that's not that is an ambitious goal, but
It was a different
achievable.
generation as well.
Shoot. Well, you got to educate our people, I guess, and get
I
them
don't
back
think
to
they're not educated. It's just a different generation.
It
You can
re-
tell your
it-
grandson to don't have
Availability as well.
a iPad. No, you can't tell your grandson that. It's just a different
that
generation.
requires some work from
Yeah.
the department and some funds from government,
Right.
and we'll get there. Anguilla is
And you know-
15,000 large.
And this fest what you guys doing now is also a way of bringing it to the public, So that's really good. I really admire that. Yeah,
50%.
that's a good
done.
goal. So, so the type of chickens you guys bringing is for to eat as well as for eggs, like poultry,
Okay, so we
types
are
of-
bringing in broilers, which would be the meat birds,
Right.
and layers.
Okay.
That's for eggs. And I know that I want to touch on what Mr. Carty said about food safety. One of the things I would like to see, not food safety, food security. I think we need to start focusing our attention on food safety and food security equally. We have to start focusing on ensuring that the people get safe food, healthy food. People must be assured that what we eat do not cause us any harm. So while we may want to be self-sufficient in terms of ensuring that all persons have equal access to food at all times, we want to ensure that persons have equal access to safe food at all times. And that was just something that nudged me there that I wanted to share before I forget it.
But Dean, Ms. Dean,
Yes,
that is very
Mello.
good that you was very emphatic about that because food security, we keep hearing about it, but let's execute it, let's implement it, let's see it happen, So I like we mentioned on those guidelines, it's very important because Anguilla as a country depends heavily on importation. We import a lot of stuff, So I was glad when I hear you mention taking security in consideration there. Very well said.
Definitely.
I want to share now a little more just so we are in this together. So I will just share a little more with what Mr. Carty and Trenton said in terms of our plans for the AgroFest 2026. The Anguilla Tourist Board is one of our largest sponsors.
Nice.
In 2022, they did a spectacular job in terms of support. And I must say, thank you again to Jamilo Chester and the then team And so we would have reached out to the ATB again and we asked them to collaborate with us. And I want to share some of what they will be doing for us on that day. We have the face behind the experience. And so on Monday, the ATB will be recording one fisher folk, one crop farmer, and one livestock farmer. And it is for them to tell us about their work as a farmer, what they do. And the end goal is to tell us how does it tie into the Anguilla experience. When persons come to the island, how does your farming help in any way in terms of promoting tourism? And so that should be done on Monday. And then we have the taste and discovery Anguilla experience table. And again, the ATB will have a tent well decorated, a lot of displays. And for the taste and discovery, I really wish that Mr. Carty can support me saying that we want to have a mystery meat, but they might say no, because it's years I want them to have a mystery meat, Melo Cello. And somebody must be able to tell us what this mystery meat is. But I ain't getting no support. I'm hoping somebody tonight can say that we have the mystery meat.
I
But
like
know
the
that
idea. I
AKA
love it.
monkey liver soup.
I like the idea. I
but
think
if you
it's
say it's
challenging.
monkey, then I mean, no. But you see, we can't really do the mystery meat because some people got serious allergic reactions. But nonetheless, we should be having
Well,
sorry. Okay, listen, we're not going to let the pig out of the bag because we're still hoping to get our national culinary team, and this is through the ATB. I hope they are not listening because I'm sure that they have not contacted them yet. Okay, but we're hoping that when they contact them, they will say yes to prepare lamb in a special way, duck, and something else, Mr. Kati. Lamb,
It
duck, and
was the
something,
lamb, duck,
and
what
fish.
fish.
Something with fish. We cannot tell you what they will be preparing, but that is just for tastings. And I'm not telling you what time of day that will be done because we want you there from the opening. And then the ATB also has what they call a passport engagement. And so they will be issuing each attendee a passport to a raffle that we have. And again, at a specific time of day. I cannot let the cat out of the bag. But what that is that once you go to the booths, you will get maybe a signature stamp, something you will get when you go to the booth. And once you fill that passport up that you would have attended all the booths, then you have a chance to get into the raffle. And we have the ATB again sponsored have a grand prize for that raffle.
okay. Where's
All
the
right,
ground?
that's one.
Where's the grounds for this whole event? Like,
And
where's
this is at the agricultural grounds.
okay?
And so I'm going to pause there because we have a lot to share. I'm going to pause there and give my colleagues a chance to jump in. And then I'll come back and share the little that I know.
Okay. Mr. Roach?
Well, from the crop side, I think I've been overwhelmed with the livestock side with Mr. Carty and Miss Trim. But on the crop side, we doing our thing and it's all showing. We have our 3-acre plot just above the old tourist board building.
Mm-hmm.
And we have various crops in there that we're growing and they're producing very well. They're looking pretty good. We got visitors coming even from St. Martin and admiring our produce.
Nice.
One guy met me yesterday morning. He's trying to buy some seeds for what we have there growing. So I told him we'll be opening on Monday because today is a holiday, unfortunately. So he didn't really. But he met yesterday. So hopefully he'll come back over sometime during the week. I invited him to come to the exhibition, but he wouldn't be in St. Martin at that time. But he wants to get some seeds because he's really impressed with how the crops are growing. He said he'd be getting seeds from somewhere out to the Caribbean, but there's very smaller variety of the tomatoes. So he's impressed with what we have there. I think it's been a pretty good project. We had some funds from the European Union. They provide us with that ground cover, that's a black matting. That's all from grant funding. So thanks to the European Union and EU and OECS. But all in all, it's the ground cover is actually preventing weed growth and it's reducing moisture loss, so the crops are growing much better. There's a little downside with, with certain crops, with certain pests like the cucurbits. They usually get aphids, but with careful spraying and attendance, you could control that. But I think the project is overall a success. Thanks to Mr. Van der Poel, he was very hard working behind the scene getting that project organized. So I think we have something good for the patrons to come and enjoy for the AgriFest.
Let me just say good evening there to Mr. Roach. Mr. Roach, you are a horticulturist, right?
Yeah, by trade.
Right. How long have you been working with the department?
Oh, for the past 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of experience under your belt as well.
Yeah, I've been there. I know when we used to do 37, 39 tons of tomatoes a year. Right now we're down to like 19 tons per year.
Wow, we gotta get it back up, man. We gotta get it back up, man.
Yeah, but what we're doing, we extend our crops. So we're doing other crops as well. So it's still good.
Oh. Okay. I understand. All right. We go back to Mr. Carty and my good old friend. She knows who he is. Miss Trim.
What about you guys gonna have any like a pet like for the kids to go like pet animals and stuff like that there? Anything for the kids at the event?
We have a lot for the kids, but before we get into the kids, I want to give you a little outline of what the day would be like.
Okay.
So we have our opening ceremony at 9 o'clock, and we're not gonna make that long. We should have the school band playing during the opening ceremony, and then Melocello. Somebody just messaged me and said that you are coming for Dumper and the Steel Pan at around 9:30. You
What?
can't miss it. The whole panel, Mr. Juan, you're coming with us at 9:30. You have to come and listen to Dumper play.
Hopefully.
All right? You can't be hoping now. You're coming. So at 9:30, we have Dumper. And we are still we have not we have not finalized our schedule for the day, but I can tell you some of the events we have. We have events for the children. One of which is
That's a secret. Don't break it out.
I have to say this one. Anybody here ever catch a fowl on a string? You know how I see somebody do it in Sinkers.
I
Melocello,
tried.
you ever do that?
Solo
Where they put the
lean
card,
forward. Solo look like you do it already.
you know how that is sketchy thing and they're cooping the fowl, so you're cooping and then you draw the
Full of
string.
shit. I never
Yes.
I tried it.
So we
many
have
times.
I have done that numerous times. Numerous
listen,
times.
I try and vibe out from Sandy Ground was teaching me to do it, but
That is
I
so
ain't
easy.
catching on.
Did you catch
But we
anything,
have
Sal?
so we
I
have
am
a
also a
game.
fisherman, so I know how to do these things.
So we have a game, something like that set up for children.
Nice. That was beautiful.
We have a game, we have something set up for the fishermen. I cannot tell you what this one is, but we have a competition there for the fishermen.
Oh.
We have, this is a nice one, a better one, a roast corn eating competition.
Oh boy. How
Right?
are you
You
there
gotta
now?
eat that dog. Arrow, come in.
Do,
I
do
ain't
you
saying
do
that,
you,
but
do you,
he's
do you
soaking
have
it
to
in.
sign up? Do you have to sign up?
When you get there, once you're in the ground, we jam in Mellow. Once you're in the ground, you're eligible to participate.
I like
Right? Then we have a mango eating competition. You gotta eat this mango down
To the
to
bone.
the seed.
I hope
How
it's not
else
a
you gonna eat
grafted mango.
mango?
I hope the mangoes are not grafted.
Why
Because
Solo?
dog,
Because those
you want
mangoes,
this stringy
Yo,
Vanya,
thing.
Nick.
those Vanya, let me just say here. A grafted mango, that's a lot of mango to eat here.
But you gotta eat it down. So we want to see. So I was thinking we wanted to
Wonderful. You.
the initial idea was to see how many persons can eat the most mango within 30 seconds. But Mr. Carty was concerned about the sugar level after you
No.
consume 10, 15 mangoes, because none of you here couldn't beat me to eat them mangoes, eh?
Oh boy.
So I say, all right, We're gonna go down to one mango and see who can eat it the fastest.
Oh yeah.
So that is
Right,
on the
right,
fun
right.
side of things. So and
Especially if they're grafted.
right. And then somebody giving us a pig, Mellow Cello. And again, we gonna have a greasy pig
What?
competition. You gotta catch that pig, and that pig is yours once you catch it. I can't tell you what time of day we doing that one. Good.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
But we have a lot of fun stuff, and
How
we
long you
also
gotta
have a lot
go?
of Arrow over there, Coopin, it wants me to slip and say the time, but I can't do that.
All right.
And then guess
These
what?
these
Go ahead.
events,
Go ahead. Go
these
ahead.
events
Yes.
will, I join in late really, so I don't know the background of what these
You didn't miss anything. You
yeah, I
didn't
think
miss
I did because
anything.
I'm hear you here talking about some events that will take place, but I don't know from what day, and I don't know when the events are.
Dwight, you want to repeat the date again for
Yes,
us?
the date for the exhibition is scheduled for the Friday, May
That's right.
8th.
Agri
So it's
Friday,
Friday,
May
the 8th of May.
Starts
This
at
is
9
Friday.
o'clock.
That is Friday coming.
So you're calling it an exhibition of some sort? What is it?
It's a Agro
Fest.
Fest.
Agro Fest.
It's a festival.
Agro Fest
Agrofest?
Yes,
2026.
Agro Fest.
Yes.
Agrofest
2026.
Yes.
2026.
2026.
Is this the first time? Is this the inaugural, or you have had it before?
We have
We
had
had,
several.
yeah, we had several before, but we starting off this one here with a bang.
Grand.
Going
Watch now.
forward.
Let me call this one here Agrofest 2026 Willie Style. Because
Willie
Willie, this year Willie Style. Right? We branding
So
now.
so you're doing this in honor of Willie.
I would want to take the liberty to say yes.
Yes.
He deserves
All
it.
right.
40 years
I
in
kind
40
of
days,
like that.
Mellow Cello. Right. So we also have a lot of educational demos that will be done. So we have activities for, we want to say, on the hour, whether it is a trivia on the hour or a demo by the crop section. I know Mr. Roach has a lovely one that I think I have to ensure that I'm there for that one. The crop section has one. The livestock section may have one or two. So what we're going to do is to divert persons' attention on the hour as to what is our focus for that hour. Nonetheless, persons are still allowed to walk around the compound and get involved in whatever activities are going on at the time. Because we have two DJs that will be in the house. And we have a string band that gonna be in the house. Melly, you gotta come because you got song we dancing. But I can tell you yes, you have to come. Vanya, bring the camera, Eka. This one here ain't gonna be normal.
I tell you.
Right? This ain't gonna be normal. But
I know you ain't got no behavior,
but I'm looking for the the name of the band. Someone sent it to me. Took on the Boys string band.
Took on the boys.
Took on the Boys. You gotta come and shake your knees. And one of the hardware stores, listen, you have no excuse for not being there. One of the hardware stores told us that they have a basket of WD-40. If your knees giving you issue, you spray by the gate or you come in. Nothing shouldn't stop you from coming in there. We have a lot of persons who would have registered, not only farmers, we have a lot of vendors.
Nice.
Man, people who even doing paintings register to come. So we have everything on that day.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be food vendors there.
We have food
We
vendors.
do
there
have
as
food
well.
vendors. And I want to take this opportunity to remind food vendors that once you are participating on that day, please ensure that you have a valid food handler's permit.
Oh my God.
We were asked to remind you. We do
No.
have some animals that will be there, but I'm not sure if we will have a petting station for children. I cannot speak to that one, but animals will be there for the children to observe and,
We're definitely asking all persons that are participating for the day to come early as well, because we don't want after the the ceremony starts for people to be walking in and setting up and stuff like that. So we're urging people to come as early as possible and set up.
Thursday, the
A
Thursday.
question.
So
Friday,
Yeah, a
well,
question.
We turn up on the Thursday.
right? We'll have tents set up by Thursday, but there are some things that will need to come the next morning to set up.
Are you guys gonna be doing like competition, like who got the best ram or who got the best chicken or something like that? To bring it
we
from-
cannot do that this year. But I'm not sure how we're gonna get out of this one. So I am thinking that if we start planning early for 2027, then we can have
something like
all
that.
of that. This
Yeah,
one
that'd
is
be beautiful.
kind of, the window was too short to have all
Right.
of that. You can't just
It's a
surprise the
kickoff.
farmers.
Like
What
that.
we have also, we do have some prizes donated by some of the hardware stores, and we have some questions that will be asked at some point in time during the day. And because it's an agro fest, we gotta keep it in the zone. And once you get one of the questions correct, then you win a prize.
That's nice.
It should be fun. You should have the Anguilla Community College there. The Albina Lake Arch Comprehensive School should also be in the house, but it should be fun and educational at the same time.
With all those activities crammed into one day, I mean, I know that they can be enough, but it sounds like that's gonna be an absolutely exciting day that no one should ever miss. Agro Willie 2026. That's the name I give it to you. Agro Willie 2026. We got to fix.
Listen, ask your bosses for the day. Like, I am sure your supervisor can tell you that you can get out. Nobody gonna lock you up in the office. Take the children to the grandparents. I mean, not like we don't want the grandparents to be there, but take your children to the grandparents and then work out who coming in the morning time and who coming in the afternoon, because we want everybody to be there. This is a big one. You have to come. If you don't come, you're missing something great.
Well,
Don't worry if you get tired, because it's Saturday, the next day is Saturday, Mellow.
say no more, really, my friend, because the way how you're presenting it all there with all those activities crammed into this whole
good.
thing, whether they come in the morning or in the afternoon, there's something eventful that's going to be taking place. So I don't think that no one will want to ever miss something like this. It's Anguilla Agro Willie 2026, Agro Willie 2026. No one will want to miss this, really. And
Mela would like to add too. We'll be having. We brought in some fruit trees that the general public was very interested in. So
they will be on sale.
actually, we wanted to sell them on that day, but too much of confusion. We're probably going to put it off for the Monday.
Right.
We're going to be selling on the Monday, but the trees are there. They look lovely.
When you say too much of confusion, could you elaborate?
You don't want the amount of activities, the amount of people that are looking for fruit trees on that day. And
Traffic.
you don't want to just swamp one secretary dealing with all that sales for one day. So we're going to start doing that on the Monday through the week. So just trying to avoid that one day. We wanted it at the one day for first, but then we realized it wouldn't work for the one day sale.
Is there gonna be fruits or vegetables available to
Yes, there'll be fruits and vegetables available for sale as well.
That's good.
But there's a lot of traffic in on that day.
We're gonna have a lot of vegetables selling on that day from the project, the Jamaica project. Yeah, we're gonna have tomatoes, watermelons, peppers, you name it, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, okra, eggplant. So we're gonna have the works there. It'll be a market day.
Nice.
Trenton, some of the farmers in the shade houses would also be operating from the shade houses.
Yes, some of the farmers will be selling from their shade house as well. They're gonna put up a little stall outside there, and they'll be selling right there. Like people like Pastor Cecil will be selling. People like Tashim will be having some pak choy. So we have some farmers selling right there too.
Nice.
So we want to make an appeal to all of the vendors on that day. This is a great opportunity to advertise your business. Marketing is important. So when you're coming out on that day, bring out your best tablecloth.
So
Bring
do
out
they
your
have to
best.
register as well? Is there registration?
Yes, the
Yeah.
registration date would have expired, I think, Wednesday last. I think I stand corrected.
I think we give
But
them an extension.
yes, but we are still, I'm not sure if we're still taking this week because at some point we have to cut off so that we can now lay
Focus.
out our
Yeah.
vendors properly. Because some persons will be cooking. And of course, you don't want somebody who frying fish or a barbecue grill way up on the eastern side because you know what's gonna happen. So we need to now look at our all the persons who would have registered and place them accordingly and group them based on what they're selling. But we're asking persons to ensure that you have proper labels on your items. Labels are
Will any of the
important.
vendors be doing rabbit meat?
We got one guy, I think. I'm not sure if he's going to take part, though.
You know, that is one of the delicacies that have escaped me.
How about me?
Chicken. It's chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken with four.
Well, I was just telling my colleague, Ms. Trim, that I remember agriculture in about the early 2000s. We used to every month slaughter rabbits with the rabbits that we had there. And we used to do something like 70, 50 pounds of rabbit meat.
Wow. Wow.
I
So,
mean,
we're gonna get back there.
I mean,
We're gonna get back there.
we can get back there because the meat is very pricey, eh?
Yeah.
But again, you have to now sensitize the public again regarding the consumption of rabbit meat because,
Right. Right.
you know,
That's
most of us see
education.
rabbits as pets,
Yeah.
you know?
Bugs
So
Bunny,
it is
Bugs
a lot
Bunny.
of sensitizing.
Let me ask
Yes.
Mr. Roach about the vertical farming part of it. Is that anything that's going in Angola?
Yes. We're gonna have some exhibits of some vertical farms. We're gonna have the aquaponics exhibits as well.
Oh, nice.
By the fisheries department, where you're growing fish and you're growing plants in the same environment.
Right.
So you're using the droppings from the fish, the feces, to actually fertilize the plants and have them grow. So you're gonna have both there. We have a system they call Flex Farm. It's actually some vertical growing. So you're gonna see some produce in that as well.
Nice. Beautiful.
It's basically
Mr. Roach,
a mini hydroponic system.
Right.
okay, Mr. Roach, I do some backyard farming. I would like to get some of your knowledge on but we'll discuss that another time because I want you to share that with me really because I see some.
Anybody else to get some knowledge as well?
Go to the event.
Well-
Go to the event, so.
I didn't know if you're permitted
Yeah,
on
man.
this program
Yeah, man. No, it's no problem. It's no problem.
to share the knowledge.
I could. It's general knowledge. I could share.
Right. How do we destroy this white fly? Well, I see that taking over some of my plants.
But
What do I do?
Peppers.
When you say white fly, I would like to see the specimen because sometimes people they mistaken the cushion scale, the white cushion scale for white flies. The white cushion scale don't really fly. They usually like hop around. The white flies actually fly. So it's a difference. That's a diptera. I have a chemical here that controls the white fly. Its name is Triclan. It's a translaminar. It actually works in two ways. It actually works on contact and when they ingest it as well. So if I could come and see the plant that are affected, I could actually recommend exactly what it needs. Sometimes when people call and say they have a problem, I can't take the information over the phone and recommend a treatment. I have to go and see to ensure exactly what it is because sometimes you could have a nutritional deficiency and you think it's a pest you have. So it's best to come and actually see what it is and give you the recommendation.
I agree with that. So what I will do is make an appointment, and then you can come and have a look, and then tell me. I guess you'll be very much impressed with my backyard farming and stuff like that. Another question. My avocado, my pear tree, as we Anguillians call it pears, but we know the real name is avocados. It blossomed you know, blossom. And then the birds is a pest because when the birds cut off all the blossoms and stuff like that, I barely get any avocados. I mean, everybody got to eat, but man,
That's the first time I ever heard of the birds actually affecting the avocado flowers. It could be that the birds just flying around, but then you're dropping the trees probably dropping the blossom because it's not enough water. Because what
no,
really
you
happens?
see actually where they cut them off.
Wow, maybe the
There's a
bats,
bird
bats
called the
then.
thrush.
Oh, the thrush.
You know that bird, the
Yeah, yeah,
thrush?
the thrush. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would have had some papayas in the same vicinity, same area, and some of them would be ripe. So the thrush would always come to there, help himself without asking a question. Just normally comes help himself, and then he'll turn on the pear tree and cut off them flowers just like a knife, man.
Wow, I never experienced that before. That's a scary one.
Somebody I was discussing it with someone the other day, and he told me you need to put a nail. I don't know how true that is.
But then
A nail.
yeah, but
Have you heard that before?
yeah, I heard the older folks usually do that because what they say the nail gonna provide iron to the tree. To me it works sometimes, but I don't think
It does
very
work,
practical.
man. I put out my mango tree next year, it bloom and crazy.
So what do you think the nail did?
Give it iron, balance it out, balance it out.
Just give it some rust.
It wasn't,
want
it
to-
wasn't
I
a nail,
want
it
to
was a
try-
piece of steel.
I want to try that as well. I really
Oh,
want to
man.
do it
My
because
mango tree started blossom.
guy tell me, he said, look, my tree is one of the first now you know some of them that blossom early and some of them that blossom late.
Yeah, they got early and late varieties. Yes,
So you got what?
they got early and late varieties. Some
Right,
varieties were
right. So
early,
I am
some
I am one
varieties
of the
were late.
early one.
Okay.
And last time around, I did not even get a pear. So I was gonna put
Piece of steel.
a squeakle in the tree
Yeah,
to
perfect.
sort of
You could do that
spin
to
away
actually friendly with
the
the bird.
bird.
Because you're telling me two things now. You're telling me the bird's cutting the flower. Then you tell the
Yeah.
flower dropping off, and you want to put a nail. So if it could be that the flower's dropping off because of nutritional deficiency, it could be phosphorus, it could be potassium. But when you tell me now that the bird now, we're like, oh, I ain't sure. So a scarecrow would scare the bird off. Let's try that. And then I could give you some potassium along with some water. You have to use water, and it should make the plant hold the flowers, hold the blossom, and get some fruits. Let's try that.
Here's another question I'm gonna
You're doing
pose to
two
you,
tier.
Mr.
We're gonna
Mr.
put the scarecrow up first, for run the board
Mm.
away. Then we're gonna apply some nutrient to the plant, and let's see if we could hold the flowers. Let's try
Okay,
that.
next question. I water my plants with cistern water. But is the cistern water, which is rainwater, is that as healthy as the heavenly rain when the rain falls? What's the difference? One is
There's
acidic, or what's happening here?
there's some dynamics that's gonna play out when the water hits the cistern and sets over time.
Explain.
Because we don't know what's
Bacteria.
the age of your cistern, and if that cement could be giving off chemicals that could taint that water quality. When it comes from the rain, it's just pure, and it's going to release all the nutrients in the soil. So once you store it in a cistern, the quality is going to change automatic because you don't know what comes off of that concrete in that cistern because we don't know what's coming out. It could be some alkalinity coming out. It could be some stuff on the additive they put in the cement is coming out. So you're going to change the water quality. So it would not be the same quality of water. If you take that water from the rain and you take the water from the cistern and you put a pH test in it, it would not be the same pH. Because one is sitting in a cistern and the cistern is giving off something that we don't know, and so the quality would never be the same. So the rain water is definitely always the best water. Once it sits,
Wow.
it changes.
I thank you, dear, for your knowledge that you have just dispersed there. I
You need to make
am
appointments.
great appreciation there. I guess a lot of some of our viewers may not have known that, but I am a novice when it comes to that. I am just a backyard farmer doing my own thing. But I guess this is knowledge that you'd want to impart with farmers to let them know, because not because it's rainwater in the system. You have pointed out some things there that
Yeah, there's different dynamics going on in the system that is not the same as the rainwater. The rainwater is the pure water. In fact, rainwater is as closest to neutral pH as possible. It's like 6.6.5, 6.7. That's close to neutral. Neutral is 7. Once you get in the cistern, the pH is gonna actually raise or drop. Most of the time, it raises because of the alkalinity from the cement.
Thank you. Thank you for that. But I will make an appointment
Yes,
really.
sir. Lou. Yes, sir.
And,
Just about to tell you that.
You
The
look at
department opens
All right.
8 to 3 o'clock from Monday to Friday. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
all right.
All right. Yeah, thank you. So, Vanya, you asked me a question a while ago in terms of what we have for the children.
Yeah.
And there's something I should have mentioned, and that slipped me. So, have you ever gone on one of those mechanical bulls? Anybody
Oh
on the
my
panel
God.
ever
I've seen
did?
that in Texas, yeah.
Listen,
And I-
we can let this secret out. That was supposed to be a surprise, but I think it is prudent
Yeah, I got
that we
one.
mention it now. We have one coming. So, man, you should have
So
seen me
you
out
gotta
this
be
morning
there.
doing my push-ups and thing.
Oh,
And
man.
strutting around the block because I going on that bull.
Are you
Dwight
gonna have
said he
some
going.
grass at the bottom so you fall on?
They got something, but I learned the school children say that Willie and Dwight got a big bet that Willie got stay on longer than Dwight.
It's gonna last longer.
And then somebody say, the school children say that Roach say none of them can beat he.
Oh boy.
So the
I
mechanical
can
bull
be
got
on the
there.
controls. I can just turn it up a little bit.
So Rosie should be on that one, man.
All I
But
need
the
is my bubble
mechanical
wrap.
bull,
Right, bubble wraps.
the mechanical bull will be there, and that's
like
for
that.
everybody, whether it's for children, adults. Listen, Harold just give me a wink on the one side. I know he coming, but
There's a
listen,
technique to that.
yes, come on,
You're
come on
very
down.
aggravating. You're very aggravating.
Well, you
However,
say you're coming with us? You're coming?
yes, I'm coming. I think I am here now. So we just about an hour and 8 minutes into the program, and I was very mute. But I was just viewing your flyer with the AgroFest.
Yes.
And as I was reading, I think I saw transforming local food systems to feed the future.
Yeah.
I take it for granted that that must be the theme of the fest, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Right? So consistently, I have my concerns as it relates to food security. For the benefit of the public, could you all let us know through definition, what is food security?
I could try and answer it.
Uh,
Food security is where you find safe and affordable food for all at all times. That's a simple definition. Safe and affordable food for all.
And I think in essence, you captured the key planks of food security. And most of all, the safety aspect of it. Because what I've noted is that over the years, but in particular in recent times, we have food that is imported, or foods that are imported, but we really don't know what we're eating. So, whereas Mr. Dwight Carter carries the role of interim director, which means generally that he has overarching responsibility for the department, I would think. And then you have Ms. Trim to deal in the livestock aspect, the development of livestock and so on. With Mr. Roach, he has responsibility for the plants in horticulturists. But I would hope that the department see it necessary, absolutely necessary, to have some degree of testing because we have availability, one, two, access, utilization, and also stability that really encompasses food security. Then we still need to know how safe is the food for the consumption of human beings. We have the prevalence of the death rate in Angola in particular. I think it is very timely that in the Department of Agriculture, they think very serious about the, bringing on board an area in the department with deal with sampling of the foods that we consume. I think
Yeah,
it's
I
a
think
it's
I
very
think it's a
timely and
very good point. It's a
critical
very
important.
good point.
Yeah,
It will cost. We'll have to invest in some residue testing machinery, and it would just have to get a dedicated lab to do those starter tests.
but
And
I was appealing to that for that for years.
Well,
Okay, I
well,
know it's of critical
I
importance. So
Miss,
you're well within line now because I know that all year the department starts to structure the budgets, right?
right.
So I would appeal to you, Mr. Dwight, who is about to take out over the mantle for Mr. Willie,
Not take
that
out.
you to take over the mantle for Mr. Willie, that you include in the budgetary appropriations
Necessary
the
equipment.
need, the
Right,
need
right. I would have already have those
agricultural
discussions with
laboratory.
the chief natural resource officer about um, having some funds because already we have already started the lab process. On the livestock side, Miss Dr. Reginald Thomas, he have already located an area where we're gonna do lab and not only for livestock but for the general department in terms of environment, crops, and everything to do testing because you're right, testing is very important, especially with the use of any insecticides.
Correct.
I want to jump in there as well. Mr. Harold, good night again. So I think you've made a valid point. And just to piggyback on what my colleague said, I think it also requires the department working more closely with the Environment Health Unit because there is only so much we can do legislatively from our part in terms of ensuring that in terms of production, that the farmers engage in the correct practices to ensure that the end product is safe. When it comes to the consumption of the safe food or the produce in itself, I think environmental health may have that, and I stand corrected, the legislation to ensure that the food is safe, whatever is on the shelf for people to consume. What I know for a fact in terms of livestock, um, a lot of work is currently ongoing and have been done in terms of safe production practices. We are currently working with our egg producers. We would have just had personnel from the University of Florida visiting. We had two workshops, and egg handling was a part of the workshop that we would have had. It's work in progress. At the end of the day, what we would like to see is that from the farm to the table or up to where we have for the Department of Natural Resources, the agriculture unit, up to where we have a certain level of control that farmers engage in the correct practices. And that requires that we continue to do a lot more extension work. Testing is critical. And I know, for example, in the livestock sector again, we have been doing some testing. The University of Florida has also been working with the crop section to do testing even in the field. We have been working with farmers. We have been engaging in what we call this Famachi scoring to even look at parasites in worm. We know when animals are infested with parasites, it affects the end product. And we know Mr. Karati can shed some more light on that one, that the animal has to be healthy before we engage in slaughtering and animal for food. And the department plays a critical role in the anti-mortem inspection. We have a mandate to ensure that the animal is safe before the person is allowed to slaughter that animal. Once the animal is slaughtered, then the environmental health unit has a mandate to ensure that the meat is safe for consumption. So I think it requires us continuing what we are doing and improving and ensuring that we educate our farmers more. Of course, a lab will be nice, and we are hoping to get one soon. Mr. Cartier speaking, right? We're
Yeah,
hoping to get a lab soon.
we hoping to get labs
Right,
soon.
soon.
Talks have
And
already
that,
begun to secure funds for the equipment. So that much I know.
But I have an
yes.
idea. I think that you should integrate the legislation should be revamped
Right.
to
I think
integrate the environmental aspect with the agricultural, because we are a small society, and a lab could run you
Spread
some $30 to really develop an ultramodern laboratory. So I believe that the legislation should be adjusted so that the environmental department works in conjunction with the agricultural department.
Okay, Harold,
Because
I
the
like your
whole
idea.
element,
I like your
to me,
idea, but the only reason why it's separated is for checks and balances. You
no,
don't
I'm
want
talking about the lab aspect, not the
okay, the lab. Okay,
department
okay.
in its
Some
totality,
some
the laboratory aspect.
Okay.
some of our laws are in for legislative review. So
Mhm.
we'll just have to see what is up.
next thing too, I feel like if farmers or meat producers gonna package their product to sell into markets, I think it should have a stamp that it was approved by, say that you inspect this site that is grown, and you know that it's free of pesticides or whatever, so that people know that they're eating a safe product on the shelf, especially, not just,
Yeah,
that should be,
I
that should be
think
also
that's
responsive.
if you could get if you could get farmers to be certified organic as per se. That's a step-by-step process, though. What we try to do at the department is try to ensure we bring in the safe pesticides for the farmers to use. So once they use it in the correct manner in terms of guidelines and application, it will be safe for the consumer.
But there's nothing that stop from bringing in their own one, right? Their
Well,
own
that's true.
safe.
So that's true because there's no pesticide control board.
That needs to
What
be
what I depend wholly and solely on now is the custom department calling me when they see a farm or personnel bringing certain pesticides.
Is it illegal though to bring it in?
It's not illegal, but
That's the problem.
it's still the job of the custom officer to flag what comes in. And they contact the department, and I will go and take a look at it and see what it is. But the thing is that we can't really confiscate that chemical. All I could do is advise the farmer as to how to use it and if he should use yes or no.
So we can make it a law that it's illegal to
Yes,
import it?
it could be done, but it has to be done through a pesticide control board, which we are in progress of working on, but it's still a step-by-step process. But we're in progress of working on it.
'Cause that's very
It
conscious.
already has a policy already. A policy has been developed, but it just has to go to the EXCO and then we get it finalized.
A lot of what we got to do with the surveillance will come through our extension services. The more we visit the farm and do surveillance of how the produce or the animals are being raised or anything applied to them, is a better view we're going to have on what is being used wrong or intentionally that will harm the consumer.
I always got one thing to thank Angola for being small. Because it's good and bad, but the good part is most farmers, when they use any pesticide, they use pesticide the correct way because the chances are of that product ending up on their sister's table or their cousin's table or their brother's table is very high. So the farmers usually take their time and read properly and use it correctly. Take, for instance, Trinidad or Guyana, a farmer treating his crops, it's 25 acres he's treating, and that's going straight to the market. That's not going to his house. But in Angola, whatever we grow in our farm the chances are it ends up on our table, our mother's table, is very high. So
Yeah.
the farmers usually take care in what they do. What I want to get back to the department to start doing is having farmers corner, where we're gonna keep educating the public as to what they see the farmer do. They know exactly what he's doing, because now every time you see a farmer with a spray on his back, he's applying pesticide. There's fully applied fertilizers now that the farmers apply with their backpack sprayers. But the general consensus is once you have a spray on your back, you're applying pesticide. That's not the case all the time. So to get that information out to the public is very important. So they have to change the narrative that, oh, he sprayed yesterday, I don't want his produce. But that's not the case. He sprayed fertilizer.
Mr.
Roach, you
Roach,
had
Um,
is
that
it,
up as part of
I
a demo at the expo, right? That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
part of.
we're gonna be doing that at the expo.
So Melly
I
is here,
kind of
got to be
nipped out.
there.
I kind of nipped out for a second there, really. But I couldn't help but endorse the question that was raised by Mr. Rawan in connection with security, because we keep hearing about food security, but what is it really? So I am glad that he was able to raise that question, because that was a question that I had in mind, really, because you always hearing, oh, food security, this, food security, but then the layman person out there might be wondering, what is food security? Let's break that down. How often do you all meet with the farmers here on the island, and what are some of the concerns?
Well, on the crop side, we get one or two major things they talk about. They talk about the cost of water, availability of water, and then they talk about marketing. If you could get the produce market, because we got to understand if you plant a crop, the crop bears until it finish. So if the market only taking 2 pounds and the plant bearing 4 pounds, it's gonna give you the 4 pounds. That means you have 2 pounds extra. So the farmers are always concerned about the price of water, the quality of water they get, and marketing. Those are the two concerns I have on my side. The pests is not a big deal because we always have ways to control the pests. On the livestock side, that's Mr. Carty and Ms. Trim.
But how often do you all meet with the farmers?
Well, right now there's an active farmers association. Angola National Farmers Association is very active now again. So they meet probably every quarter, but the executive meet every 2 weeks. But as for me now, I meet with the farmers basically every week because they always call me for different things. So I got a dialogue with the farmers all the time.
I don't know if this is still if this is done, but if a fella decided he gonna slaughter a pig or sheep or goat, do he just slaughter it and go and sell it like that, or you all have to come and inspect it? Tell me.
Mr. Carty, Mr. Carty can answer that for you.
Okay, so we have a procedure now which Ms. Trim explained earlier. It's a ante-mortem procedure that we have to go visit the animal and make sure that it's healthy and fit for slaughter. In Ms. Trim's capacity, Ms. Trim is already doing that before because she's more engaged with the farmer in terms of the production part of it, the husbandry and everything. She knows what conditions the animals are being raised in. She will notify the animal health part of it if she notices any goats or any pigs or any animals that she visits that looks ill. She'll report it to us on the health side. Well, not us anymore, because everybody.
Well,
Well,
Mr. Carty,
I'm wearing both hats. I have to have a broad hat now.
Mr. Carty, knowing Miss Trim, she's always proper in trim, So then, are you saying to me here that there's certain guidelines where a fella just can't just get up tomorrow morning and go and slaughter his pig and start selling the meat? Is there any penalty if anybody is elusive and does that? Can they be penalized?
Yes.
Yes,
How?
but we can recover the meat. We can take the meat away from him before he reaches the market. For one, is there any law that speaks to a fine?
We
That
can
I
get
don't know
back to
if
them
that.
on that. If there's one, we can provide that information once
Yeah, yeah,
we
and
But
can let you know after the panel.
maybe that's in the
remember
public
it's
health.
twofold
Okay,
too. The
But
environmental health has a section
public
to do
health.
with
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
public
So
health. That might be in
yeah,
public health laws.
yeah.
yeah,
But you
but
got
I
It
wanted
can't be sold once it didn't get it.
have you guys sit down to the reform policies and bylaws and laws of this? I mean,
Have to.
have you modernized our laws?
It's
No,
work
we.
in progress. It's a
I
work in
know
progress.
legislative reform is currently ongoing,
Okay.
Mhm.
right? So, but I just wanted to add though, you have what persons should do, and then you have what persons
Okay.
do behind the scenes. Some persons will just decide they're gonna kill a goat and consume it because it's just for the family, they are not selling. And in some instances, they really don't come to the department. Not to say that is the right thing to do. But imagine someone killing an animal that has a disease that can affect humans, and you
Mm-hmm.
consume it, and the department is not aware. And then your neighbors come over and you eat a piece of the stew goat,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? You realize how you can affect your entire family and the neighbor, right?
Right, right,
So
right,
we
right.
encourage persons to do the right thing. Come to the department and let us first do the antemortem. Make sure that in the appearance, in the eye, the animal appears healthy, and we have all the checks and balances. Animal is healthy. You
So,
slaughter, and then you give the environmental health the opportunity to inspect the meat, and you get that pass. If the animal is healthy, the meat is healthy for consumption, then you go, and it's the safest way to go.
well, traditionally, right, we go to Scrub Island, we catch a goat, we spend the night up there, roast the whole goat. By the time they come down, we don't have no goat to bring down. So is that wrong?
Vanya, I know you like to do illegal stuff, you know.
No, but we do that growing up. We catch a goat, we go down the beach.
But I want to share, I want to respond to the question regarding what are some of the challenges that a
Yeah.
livestock farmer face. A lot of farmers complain about the high cost of feed, and the government has they have subsidized, not subsidized, they have removed the duties on feed. So that is a way of helping to cut back on the cost of feed. We know that during the dry period, farmers also complain. And some farmers use the dry period to say that's why we gotta allow the animals to roam. Some farmers complain about roaming animals affecting the crops. So that is a crop problem for the livestock farmer affecting crops, roaming animals. And I know somebody can ask how we dealing with that, but we can come back to that in a bit. And so basically it's the high cost of feed most farmers complain about. But the government actually has been helping by removing the duties on feed. And that's the main complaint from the livestock farmers. Not the only one, but the main one.
What we could do about this? What's it? Wild Moses? Is that not a good feed for? Because that's
Well, it's high in
invasion.
protein. It is high in protein, and so farmers continue to use that. But that's not all that we can give them. So the department is currently, we are testing out, we have a trial plot for pasture grasses. We are doing a trial plot, and it would be nice if a lot of farmers can consider planting pasture grasses to feed the animals. But again, they can say, we got a problem with water. I mean,
Yeah.
but we have to put systems in place to see what we can do, especially in the dry period. And one of the things we can look at is some persons purchase hay, but again, hay is expensive, so we may want to consider silaging. so we can have food in the dry.
Oh, dry food.
Well, that is good
Yes.
to hear because I have heard many of the farmers talk about water, and that seemed to be problematic for them.
Both sides,
Everywhere.
You
agricultural
know,
and
do government supply them with the source? How do they go about that?
Well, I must say I know of about 3 farmers thus far who, if they have not yet, 3 livestock farmers, if they have not yet received the water tanks, they are in the process of doing so. And those would have been farmers who were identified based on the criteria, which I'm not at liberty to share now. But three
Okay.
farmers would have qualified us for livestock farmers, and I'm really happy for that. Because rearing livestock, for example, a man rearing pigs and do not have access to water, that is a serious issue. So I know 3 so far would have benefited from the water tanks that the crop section have been working on. So we were happy, and um, that's a start.
but let me ask Roach, right? Does the reverse osmosis water is that help? I mean, is that difficult for farming? Is that good? Because it still has some salt content in it.
To be
How does that
honest,
work? Yeah.
it works, but it works better if you could sit it overnight. So have the
Oh,
chlorine volatile out and then send it through your lines. But because if
right,
everybody don't have the privilege to have a water tank, to have the water set
right,
overnight to water next morning, they use it straight. And that in itself could be detrimental to farming because it's got a high chlorine content,
mhm,
and that chlorine content being high actually affects plant growth over time. So you actually have the plant there, but it wouldn't grow to its full potential because it has this inhibiting factor, which is the high chlorine. But we have to use what we have.
right,
So
exactly. But
some
is there
chlorine in
anything
the
you could
water is better
add?
than no water.
Is there anything you could sprinkle or add to it to balance it out to
No,
help
there's
balance
nothing
it?
you could add to get rid of that chlorine. The best thing to have it sit overnight and the chlorine will volatile out. There's nothing you could add to reduce the chlorine because we got to remember that the water department mandate is to provide safe drinking water to the nation.
Right,
The farmers is the second option. So they produce the water at a quality that is safe for drinking. It's potable water.
right,
But that water that is safe for drinking is not the best quality of water for the farmer to use. So
right.
we got
Understood.
twofold here, but we have to take what we get. And water in itself, farming uses 70% of the world's water. So we know it's a very high number. But if you don't farm, you don't eat. So we have
That's
to,
true.
just you have to do it.
Yeah. Well, are you guys like? I mean, is Angola to a point where packaging and stuff and supplying our local supermarkets at the moment?
Um, I didn't do any packaging of it. What I did is just pick the produce, take it straight to the supermarket. They do the packaging.
How to do
So
packaging?
in Proctor's and in Ashley's, they have a local section that they have it. So you go in, you know it's local, you
Strip
buy it.
wrap.
I must applaud JW Proctor and Ashley Supermarket for that. They actually create a local section. So when you walk in, you know this is a local section, you buy local. So that's a plus for those two supermarkets.
Yeah. What kind of like fruit trees you guys offer to the public for consumption to buy? Like
Fruit trees are vegetables.
no fruit like mangoes or coconuts that you guys offer those kind of.
We usually have guavas, soursops, avocados, mangoes. The last time we did some um soursop, we grew them from seed and sell it to the public for like
Wow,
25 EC dollars per tree.
nice. All right, how you got? Wait for these. How are they there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So, Daidi, in a new, I know every director, has a new direction for what they want to go into. You want to share some of your thoughts and ideas of where you think you want to take the department?
Well, I'm looking to increase our extension services for one. because I do believe that the education and the surveillance of the farms, making sure that everybody is doing best practices with their plants and animals, is kept up to good standards. Our next initiative I want to venture into is trying to get the younger people into agriculture again, get them excited to do agriculture again. And this exploring that means introducing them to the new technologies, because in most of the young people now, when you hear agriculture,
There you go, chop
thinking
ground.
about out in the ground with a hoe,
I hear
um,
that.
hoeing up dirt. So
Yeah.
we're trying to I want to get new, get the young people excited again, and I'm talking from the primary school, starting as early as primary school. Get them excited to plant, educate them about the importance of food. I am also trying to, at some point in time, do a better linkage with our tourism industry and
Yes.
agriculture to develop our agritourism model as well, to get the hotels again excited about getting fresh vegetables straight from our grounds, which would again excite young people to
Yeah,
actually
that's what.
look at it as a business and not just as um, food for themselves. Those are the minor things I want to do now. The legislation is top on the agenda as well. I need to get some of these laws and acts amended to suit
Yeah.
these modern times, because I'm sure most of these laws were done in 1962.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like if you look at a lot of these hotels, they import fish, they import some of the vegetables that you can get locally. That needs somehow to be addressed, encouraged, because if the market is deferred, I'm sure people will want to go into it.
Well, I can't speak too much to the fish because that is not under my purview. So, but
Right.
as far as like agriculture, there is the potential to export to our region, our closer regional islands like St. Martin, Saba, Statia, maybe. But again, there is a lot of work we have to do on the ground when it comes to good practices,
Yeah.
standards. These other countries work on standards from a European model, from the US model,
Yeah.
and the place of coming from a place of cleanliness, the use of insecticides again, all those things that we have to develop good standards before we could even think about exporting to those closer Caribbean islands.
Yeah. Makes sense.
The next thing again is I want to do the linkage, make a linkage to our neighboring islands when it comes to trade. I know we don't have not much here to trade, but we have to develop a better trade with our regional islands. Talking to my colleagues in the other islands, I mean, I am new to the director's post, but I want to develop better communication with
Relationship.
the other islands to see what is working for them
Mm.
and what can work for us, but just get a better communication with them as well.
That's a
Good.
very good initiative, Dwight. And that is one of the challenges we have as an island when it comes to development of renewable energy.
Mm.
And it's a very focal point because, with the price of energy, is one of the greatest challenges that we have as a region. And if we was to collaborate our efforts, our thoughts, and our ambitions, we'd be better served as a people.
Right.
Now,
Right.
what I could say as it relates to your transformation process with the food system, I think it is of critical importance that you try to give the government and Angola the appetite. We have food security. There's a prerequisite. You should acquire lands.
Yeah.
The government of Angola should assist the young people by acquiring lands, whereby you don't give them the lands, you lease them the
Lease the
property.
land. Yes.
But
Correct.
where are they going to raise this capital from? I mean, we subconscious. We're saying that we want young people can get engaged in farming. How do they get engaged in farming? the little backyard they have may not be enough to really put them into a business. It may be just for them personal use on the table. But when you talk about creating a business, you will have to have a reasonable acreage to be able to do so.
That's where
Agreed.
vertical farming coming too.
Yeah, saying that Vanya has concerns about this AI money. Maybe a percentage of those monies they could designate
Sure.
to the procurement
That's
of
the
land,
water.
then
Free.
make disbursements to the young people to encourage them to move forward with the agricultural initiatives and
I agree.
develop, be part and parcel of the food security regime. It's a very serious thing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree fully.
But Ms. Dean, so are we gonna do like school tours of the farms and animal raising and stuff so that they can get the young people engaged?
All of those things packed in one. Like I said, extension
But
services.
Right.
Oh, you Dean. Sorry.
yes,
Sorry, Dean.
She seems to be
sorry.
the marketing person, you know.
No, I'm not. But our schools have been reaching out. We have been engaging with doing outreach work with the schools, but for biosecurity reasons, we are not in a position to take the children to most of the farms
Oh,
for biosecurity reasons. Nonetheless, if schools are interested in a technician from the department coming to the school for any presentation or anything educational, we are always willing to do so. Or for the primary schools in particular, they always reach out and they would want to come to the department for a tour. We entertain them as well. Crops and livestock.
nice.
And to the best of your
Let
knowledge,
me,
is rural science or agricultural science is part of the school's curriculum?
Yes, no. Yes, it is.
Agricultural science, it is a part of the school's curriculum. I'm not sure if I know. Back in the days, it started at third farm. So like across the Caribbean territories, what is done in farm one is done in third farm in Anguilla. There was a shift at some point in time where one period was given to first and second farm for introductory agriculture, but I'm not sure what happens now. But I think it is safe to say that agriculture now only starts at third farm, and the focus is mainly on the syllabus, the Caribbean Examination Council syllabus, in preparation for exam at fifth farm, and then post fifth farm, then they engage in the CAPE syllabus, and that's as far as my memory serves me.
well,
Yes,
let me just
fantastic.
interject here that I applaud the initiatives that Mr. Carter spoke to. I think that is needed in terms of trying to get the young people more engaged into agriculture because you got to start somewhere, you know, and I really support those initiatives that he spoke to, reaching out to some of the other islands, etc. He said it as it is, that we might not have a lot to trade, but reaching out, I like that. I like that idea, you know, and I commend and compliment. And I can only see this department for the future moving forward, you know. What we discussed here this evening, we touch on some very important topics and issues that needs to be addressed. One, as we forge ahead, we have to realize that be a small island, we depend a lot heavily on importation. So if we can support local, I want to go back to that. If we can support local, that's the way to go, really. You know, that is the way to go. So I hope that the viewing public understand, and I want to wish Mr. Carty, Roach, and my good old friend who's trim and proper, I want to wish them all the very, very best in the future endeavor, really. You know, make agriculture strong in Anguilla once again. Because, you know, Vanya, you would have known that the older days,
And the thick
people that used to
potatoes.
walk the ground, they used to till the
Thick
soil.
peas and thick
They
potatoes.
used to do farming. They used to till the soil. They used to grow pigeon
Yeah,
peas
yeah.
and you know, corn, you know, all those things. But today, we don't see that happening now. It's not as abundant as before. People now run to the supermarkets and, you know, just buy the stuff there. Sometimes you ain't even know why you're buying there, but you're going and you're buying. So you want to create that environment that, you know, want to get the young people engaged into that. It's going to be a tall order, yes. But ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your
For
country.
your country.
And I think that farming, with what's all that's happening in the world today, we see the war in the Middle East, the global shocks and things of all of this. We got to start to farm. Farm today or starve tomorrow. You understand? So I think, again, I want to commend the entire team. The entire
Thank
team.
you.
I listened to the initiatives here discussed this evening. I'm very delighted. I was able to ask a few questions. Vanya posed a few questions. Harold posed a few questions. We all understood the need for local production. We need to do that, you know, and I want to say I commend you all. And I wish you all the very, very best in the future going forward. Mr. Carter, once again, you are now at the helm. Let me congratulate you again as Mr. Director. I mean, I feel so elated when I have to say that. My good old friend, Dwight, I know Dwight for so many years. Now I would just pass Dwight now and say, hey, Mr. Director, how you doing? You know? And I think that if anyone was really for that job, it's him. He's been in the department for 30-odd years, you know, and he's been there. He practically grew up in there. He's still a young man.
Basically.
You know, he probably grew up in there. So he knows, you know, he's not a novice. He knows exactly what it entails to continue to build on what Willie and the rest team left. He would now take it forward now. He would build it. And I'm urging the public to come out to Agro Willie Fest 2026. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a day of excitement, educational. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a way of, you know, bringing people together, listening to your ideas, at the same time having good fun. Agro Fest, Willie, 2026.
Tell her you're going to make us be printing now. You're going to make us be printing.
Right? I just want to add to that, Dwight, Mr. Carty. Dwight, coming here, going to the public and educating the public of these kind of things, and you know, this is a good start to getting people involved and curious. And now knowing that the department has, you know, is available to answer questions, to come to you and assist you in getting started. You know, I really love that. I think that's a real good initiative. And I wish y'all good luck from there. And I think that it's going to be really successful. You're going to reach that 50%. Yeah.
Thank you.
Harold, you
So, thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity. I think it was a quite fitting time for us to educate you, remind you in some instances on what we do at the Department of Natural Resources, and also to shed light on our AgroFest 2026. I hope that I would have, according to Mr. Ron, aggravated you enough to make you come out on the 8th and let us celebrate the moment. And one of the things that we will celebrate on that day is the service of Mr. Vanterpool, which he has offered to the government of Anguilla and mostly at the in the agriculture sector. So thank you for this opportunity. And on behalf of the livestock team and the team at the Department of Natural Resources and my colleagues on the panel, thanks for the opportunity and have a good night.
Well, let me say just before you run out, Dean Trim and Proper,
I know, but
I just want to say here again that we are urging the public to come out, support the event. And I know that I can sense it. I don't know, but I just sense that there's big things on the horizon, you know,
Yes.
and I want to see the young people especially fully engaged because I am a young man and I do my background farming, you know, so I would like people to also do that. And I also want to say to you, the Karate and Roach and Trim and Proper, always feel free to join us here on this program in your face. When Mr. Harrigan told me that we were going to have you on this evening, I couldn't help but saying, look, I want to be there to that discussion, but I had some few things I had to do. But I made sure got through with that just to be here to entertain the panel, you know. And lo and behold, I learned that Dwight is now the director. I didn't know that Trim and Proper would be here. That's my very, very good friend. That's my good friend right here. Very good friend.
so let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Mr. Roach. Well, yes, Mr. Roach, we will do it again.
With, a derelict unit. You want to see your face. You want to see who we communicating with. At least I try and
Mr. Rowan, I was just saying to myself, in this day and age of evolution and so forth, why is this man, you know, what's happening?
It's not music computer.
I think he plays smart, you know.
Yeah.
No.
He put over the camera.
Actually, if I knew this, I would have used my laptop at home. But I thought, but I have a nice here, so
leave him alone.
next time.
Well, I will say this bit here. We understand and we permit you this time, but next time,
Yeah,
you won't.
I'm on next time. I'm
Because
sorry.
of modern technology, people want to see your face. Look, when I joined in, I didn't even know that you were there.
Shit. Not good, man.
But Cello, what gonna happen if you turn on the light? Is a roach.
You
What
know
gonna
what?
happen?
Oh my gosh.
In your cupboard.
Terrible.
I got you. Well, again, I just want to say, folks, thank you all so much for choosing this medium, choosing this platform to get your message across to the nation. We certainly deeply appreciate it very, very much. And, this is the way to go right now. We get straight into your face in your living rooms and we can talk to you. You don't have to come to the studio. You know, you could stay in your private home. Roach can stay in his cupboard, as you notice. And, but I must say, indeed, it was a pleasure. One I can never hardly begin to measure. And every minute of this discussion I treasured. On behalf of Mr. Vanier Harrigan and Rowan, I'm saying thanks again for joining us. Now we will continue the program. We'll take a look at some of the current issues that are happening in the country, which might be a little bit political. So we will be
Allow us to get out of the room.
for you all to recuse yourself. Recuse yourself while we tackle some of the issues that are affecting us here on the island of Anguilla. We'll only be a 30-minute extra, really, because normally the program is supposed to go from 8 till 10, and sometimes depends, we bend and we go 10:30, But I'm not going to go till 11 o'clock, because sometimes we go to 11, Sometimes the program is so informative that people don't want us to stop, But hey, we are only human.
All right,
again,
thank you again, Mr.
thank
Luke.
you all for
Thank
being
you,
there.
Vanya. Thank
Alrighty.
you, Harold.
Thank
All
you.
right, have a
Thank
good
you.
night, Angola.
In your face. In your face. What me not like you?
All right, here we are back on track, and this is the most talked about program. Very informative, very interactive. A program we call In Your Face. And as I often stress and say, we discuss the issues that are pertinent, that are affecting us as a nation, as a people. We bring about solutions. We just don't talk, we act. Good evening again, gentlemen. It's indeed a honor. It's indeed a pleasure coming off a good holiday there, Labor Day, which I get some time to snooze a bit.
Get some rest.
My good old friend Vanya, he was on the night shift. I snoozed. He couldn't get enough of that. But like any other thing, I spent my Friday the right way, catching up on some rest. And I know Mr. Ruwan, Harold Ruwan, that is, also likewise did the same. Gentlemen, Anguilla, as it is today. Now, Ruwan, I know that your ears are always to the ground. You are the voice of the voiceless. And I must say that I admire what you do because you tell it as it is. I like what you do. You bat from your crease. I've been cautioning my co-hosts to do likewise and not wild swipe because I know that there are those who are out there waiting to see if they can shut up Harold, one, or even find something that any of us would say here to take it to court. Now, y'all know me. I'm the instigator / agitator. Straight off the bat. Let us make a comparison here to the former administration. Because as I drive around Anguilla, some citizens believe that the former administration may have handled the current economic challenges differently. How would you respond to that? People are saying things in Anguilla is so expensive. But they didn't say expensive alone. I'll say what they said. Things are so damn expensive in Anguilla. How can one live in Anguilla? You know? So, in your view, what lessons, positive or negative, should be taken from previous leaderships? Harold, I'll start with you.
Well, the thing is this, right? What I've recognized over the years, right, is that we have a tendency to get ourselves entrenched and ducted in egos. If we were to be collaborative in our efforts to develop our little island, we'd be very much further than we actually are. For example, if we were to say that government is a continuous entity, what is it? One administration has on its program or its plans and ambitions a particular format to execute projects. And then lo and behold, you have a general election, a new administration comes in, and then subsequent to that entry into the seat of government have the tendency to what I will call disrupt formidable plans and ambitions of farmer administration. This, I think, we are shooting ourselves in the leg. And if we are serious and committed about the whole notion of government being a continuous entity, we will honor the plans and the objectives of the farmer administration. Now, when we look at what was taking place with the farmer administration and the progressive movement, and then you have the entry of the Anguilla United Front, it is obvious that saying that government is continuous and sticking to that whole notion that it doesn't form part of the true portfolio. And it is evident that where the farmer administration had a very ambitious program to keep this island fairly vibrant, lo and behold, the new administration started to put the brakes on and say, listen, we have to slow up, disrupt the ambitions of what's put forward by the farmer administration. And because of that, we seem to be now undergoing challenges from an economic point of view that has been very well compounded by the global situation as it relates to, in particular, to the hiking of fuel prices globally. Now, I can recall, to be to the point and not really to go too far off, I can recall seeing on Facebook a price of $17.02 that Minister of Economic Development, if I can remember correctly, posted that saying that they would cap the fuel at $17.02 over a 2 or 3 month period. And that was a few weeks ago. But I think the people of Anguilla is now very disappointed that that pledge that has been made by the member of government turned out really to be an April Fool joke, so to speak. Because if we look at the pumps today, the unit price has gone up to almost $20 EC a gallon. And one still is waiting on this administration to explain to the people of Anguilla why they make promises that are broken and they do not come back to the people and explain in its totality the reasons why they have pitched such companies. Because we must recognize that the price of fuel drives up the cost of everything there is. And I think it is very critical that under the circumstances that we are owed to the state of affairs. So we do hope that going forward, maybe by the next press conference, that the government of the day will explain to the people of Anguilla what their plans and ambitions are to be able at least to strangle the escalation of the cost of energy here in Anguilla. We are fully aware that we do not produce fuel, but of course, we are given a God-given generator. And a God-given generator in this case is sunshine. And we do believe that if our government of the day work this thing in a way that we could propel forward in a meaningful way, there may be some sort of medium-term relief that we have on the horizon. But it would seem to me that under the circumstances, they're not really serious and committed about that particular gesture. So I do hope that in short order, that they will involve the critical players that would be in a good position to be able to move forward as a team so that the people of Angola could realize a better relief. So I'll stop there, Mr.
Yeah, Vanya, the said question, but I'm gonna just add a bit here to, because I listened to Mr. Ruan as he expounded and he elaborated there a bit. Um, is this the time for political comparison or for unified natural strategy? Because Mr. Ruan spoke to that. So I just want to carry on there. Do you think it's time for unified national strategy?
It should be. It should be that way, still. But to me, everything is political as far as this government is concerned. I don't see this government having an idea of what they're doing. They're not creative. They're not aggressive. They talk about measuring twice, cutting once, or whatever like that. Meantime, while they're doing that, people out there are suffering and struggling, and the economy is falling, rather than being an aggressive development to keep economy going. You don't see that. If you look at this, let's go to sports. If you look at this big launch of basketball in Ray Hill, all of a sudden they just pop up. Where you had the Blown Point basketball court and the El Harbor basketball court in progress and pretty much completed. And what they did, they demolish it so that it doesn't what the previous government did doesn't exist anymore. So it's so political. You know what I mean? Like they rush to get Ray Hill going because it's in a district where they're at, but the Blown Point and the El Harbor, they don't show no interest. That is very heartbreaking to me. Because you're a government elected for all the people, not just for the districts that you want. So that should never happen. If you look at the renewable energy, it's a struggle to get going, and you're right. That is the key, as Howard said, that is the key factor to the cost of living. Electrical bill, to generator to run your supermarkets, that's the key. And if we were really serious about getting renewable energy, rather than having the Anglet, you're a majority shareholder, rather than having Anglet waiting to borrow money, the same $16 million you're going to spend in England, you could have give them as a loan or as a grant to get renewable energy started. So how serious are they? They give you a 3 months relief on fuel, on duties and freight, duty free on freight and insurance. 3 months. By the time you put a purchase order in, and by the time the order get put together and shipped to Angola, it's all over. You know what I mean? So it's a little piecemeal thing. Nothing really tangible, and they're collecting close to $25 million a month. And you tell me that none of this money can't go back to the people of Angola? I mean, it's hard, but it's crazy that you can't direct that money to affect people's lives. National health care should have been on the table. Getting renewable energy should have been prioritized. You got the money coming in, but you use the money for the wrong things because the ministers are traveling on a weekly basis, going to events and stuff that they don't have to go to. And there's other stuff that they could invest in that could, help the people, like especially water. You got a pipe that they're sitting in a custom still for some reason. That is not being driven. It's back on the government. So what's the problem? What's the problem with the CCTV cameras? Why are these things delayed? These are all the things that was put in place from the previous government. This government is just sitting on it because they want to measure twice and cut once while the people are suffering. So crime is on a high rise, and we're not really doing anything to fix it. They had a last minute community a town hall meeting to discuss it, which they do every time. Every time somebody there's a crime committed, you get the same written statement from the governor and the premier, just the date is changed on it.
Yeah, a
It's
recitation.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Do something. The governor is responsible for security. Put some drones in the sky and protect our borders, because you can't have gun shooting if there's no guns in the island. Ammunition. Where's all it coming from? So let's attack the real issues. Help people to give people real relief and stop giving them a 3 month relief, and give people and give us some serious security in the country, instead of talking nonsense about they're all with the sink it's come back talking about the whole like segment and haven't done nothing. So I'm disappointed. But,
I hear you, dear
right.
Mr. Harrigan.
If I was to add to and still subtracting away to what
Mhm.
Mr. Harrigan just said about the government is not aggressive. To me, they are aggressive, but they're being aggressively vindictive.
That's the
And I
problem.
will I will comment rather on that. Now let's take for example, there is 800 tons of cement at the port at Sand Ground, and I'm still trying for the health to ascertain why this cement is there sitting for over a year now, as I learned, and no resolution could be made as it relates to the 800 tons of cement. That's 400 jumbo bags. It's a shame. I saw on Facebook, Vanya page, he posted the saying of the cement, how the bags are being deteriorated. So, which means, in essence, that product of being
Wasted.
lost.
Mhm.
And the question is, who benefit in the context? Now, I saw that numerous people commented, but the truth is, went through the comments, I realized that again, it would seem as if this initiative, as it relates to the cement being lost at the port, is because of some sort of political assumption. The government is dealing on an assumption, as I learned, that this was belonging to some former minister of government that had some initiative. Now, it is very sad, my people, that at this day and age, that we going to run a country on the basis of assumptions instead on the premise of facts. We're going to run a country on the basis of assumptions instead of the premise of facts. So outside of that, I feel very disturbed that even if that that importer, if he was on the other side of the political divide, the question is, isn't that importer and then William? Secondarily, um, does who, as I said before, I say again, the question is, who is the winner when this cement is being all lost at the port? To me, there are multiple losers, there's no winner. Now, you're going to have the importer expending capital in the purchase of 800 tons of cement, which is a colossal amount of cement. And it comes with shipment and everything that has to be paid. It reaches as far as the port. I learned that there was numerous correspondence and trying to make a resolve over this situation. And to no avail, nothing is done. The point is that you're going to tell me that if you have a government which is responsible for the people to the people of Anguilla, must be accountable to the people of Anguilla. You have a government of the day that won an election on the premise of putting people first. You're going to tell me that something is elementary, in my view, is very elementary, as imports of cement coming to a port and it could only reach so far and no further, and being all lost, all lost. Now, another question. This product is being at the port. This cement is all lost. Now, whose responsibility is it to dispose of property? Who will have to dispose of property? I could only guess that it's going to be the port. So this is a liability because of the actions of the government. It is being a liability brought on the Port Authority because the Port Authority, as I learned, is under the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. So where you have this situation whereby that a government is being vindictive, aggressively vindictive, because this is not an isolated case, by the way, aggressively vindictive, how can we say we are building our country? How can we say that we are putting people first? These are questions that need to be answered. And I trust and hope that the government of the day could only wake up and understand that at the end of the day, we are destroying ourselves. Now, this is if this product, the 800 tons of cement, was allowed to come through the process of being cleared through customs with an arrangement, any problem there is, and we who work in engineering always advocate that with every problem there is a solution. So likewise in administration, don't matter whether there are laws, whether there are policies, they can always be reworked or worked around to be able to accomplish the needed effect. So I just can't understand how in the world that the government of the day will feel comfortable, will feel happy, will feel satisfied with that terrible situation that is currently at the port and Road B. And I wonder how could they really reconcile, how could they really justify their actions when it comes to that product, massive amount of cement being wasted at the port at Road B. So, Mr. Sello,
Houston,
I just
Houston,
add on to what Vanny was saying
yes,
about
and I appreciate that too,
the,
because I had no knowledge of that situation there. Houston, we have a problem. Next question, gentlemen. I hear a lot of talk of a building under construction down at Blowing Point. What are you guys hearing as it relates to that building that is presently being constructed there?
well, if I was to say this, because I underground and I traverse between the port and other areas on the island on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the excavation going on in that virgin area, right in front where the taxis and other vehicles are aligned, I said to myself, boy, I wonder what government going put there now. I hope they don't mess up the whole port facility with
Mm-hmm.
putting
Mm-hmm.
a bad putting a building there that does not fit the purpose. But then when I dig deeper, I found out that it is private enterprise is putting in some sort of construction there. And I said to myself, why should this be? Now, mark you, I am pure and willing. I am pure for the development of young people in terms of entrepreneurship and development. I want to be clear on that. But, I was listening, I had a look at Mr. Curtis Richardson Facebook page, and I was very excited with what he posted in terms about his past initiative about acquiring the lands alongside around the port and how they had lodgings and clothes and everything hanging from these old derelict buildings and so on. and he's so happy to know that the place is clean up. But now I think he's a bit peeved with the fact that this initiative is going forward and going forward by a local person that is in private enterprise. Now, I want to say this. Me, from my perspective, think that it's an easy fix because we have to put the whole notion of best public interest into play. The question is, with that building going there, and heaven knows I don't know who the building for, but I heard it's for a gentleman in the South Hill area, right? I love this gentleman. I love his initiative, if that's the case. But however, the gentleman could be satisfied in his ambitions to develop himself simply by the government saying to the gentleman, listen, sorry, we will appreciate, we recognize that you are moving forward with some initiative, but however, could you come in and we'd like to have a very frank discussion with you, the sooner the better, right? I think that calling that gentleman in and explaining him about best public interest being served, I am of the belief that he will fall in line with the wishes and desire of the government of Angola to have that land being owned under the state, so that all of the people would be able to benefit from that. And at the same time, the government of the day, now let's take, for example, if that lot of land, for example, is 1/8 of an acre for argument's sake. The government, if it was, it means that the government got to offer that gentleman, if it is a gentleman property, 8 acres of land for that 1/8 of an acre. It's a win-win for the people of Angola, believe it or not. Because remember, the millions of dollars already invested in port development. And then if you put something there that would be kind of obstructive and that not really fall within the confines of the operation of the port, what we gonna have? We're gonna devalue what we have there. But I'm being just hypothetical. But if it's a 1 acre of an acre, and the government say, listen, realistically, let's negotiate. We're gonna give you an acre of land for the 1 acre, for the 1/8 of an acre, for example. And we'll also throw in a sweetener, X amount of dollars, to help you with the development. I could see a win-win for everybody. But then if you can just sit back as a government, mark you, I don't know if they are really doing anything to try to see if they make a resolve along the lines of which I'm speaking. But I do hope that they are not sluggish, as like our good friend Vanya was saying, right? And cotton, well, what they do, Vanya? They check twice before they cut once, or several times before they cut once, and they fall asleep on the wheel. So I do hope that this matter that is happening currently, that parties will sit down and a resolve be met in the best interest of all. So, Selo, that's what I would say up to this point.
Mr. Harrigan, I don't know if you want to chime in because you would have heard of this building being under construction down at the port in Blowing Point.
Vanya, I think you're on mute. You muted yourself.
Yeah, sorry about that. I went to the restroom, so I didn't mean I forgot to put it back on. But yeah, I saw pictures of it on Facebook, and I'm not sure who's the owner or what the purpose of the building is going to be, but government have full control. They give them permission. They had to give planning permission, right? They couldn't build without that. So it had to go through consultation in order for planning to approve it. Why did they approve it? I don't know. and what the building is going to be, I think the public should know. I think that it's going to be a hindrance. It's going to be a safety issue. I think that, it depends on what's going there. It could be a hazard. So, we don't know. We don't know yet. But hopefully we don't have to put it on because, safety comes first. And if it's a safety issue, then, the building would be more costly for the government to purchase. So they need to really understand what's going there, the purpose of it, and if it's really falls within a safe perimeter. Because when you got ports, you should have a certain distance, perimeter security distance that you can secure and control. It's under your control. Other than that is not you don't have control over it. So that's something that really needs to be looked into.
Now, I want to talk about infrastructure, and public services. When you look at our roads, listen to me closely, are our roads, schools, and public services keeping pace with development? Why do infrastructure issues persist despite ongoing investment? Where should government focus? Where should the government focus its spending? Its spending right for maximum impact. Where should the government focus its spending right for maximum impact? Is there a long-term national development plan, or are we just reacting to? We're kind of just reacting as issues arise.
That's a problem right there. So
I know, Mr. Harrigan, you were going to jump ahead of Rwan on that. Go ahead, take it away.
The issue is with Angola, we don't have a national plan. Every party come in, they got their own idea. They do what they want. They reverse what they want. They do some things that may not be in favor of majority of people, because it's political. We need to have an agenda, a national plan that is set, that is continued, like from no matter what government changes, is a continuity. That,
a continuation.
Continuation of a plan. And without a national plan, you're just doing things blindly. You're doing things that in the future you're gonna knock it down and go over again. For instance, we got roads in Angola, and majority of our development is in the western side of the island. But we got one way in, one way out. And as people start building houses and developing, you lose the opportunity to cut new roads. So why are we not taking advantage of that now and cut new roads to get access to these things? Because if you have an accident where somebody get killed on a main road, the road is shut down for hours and hours for investigation. I mean, the activity in the West getting back and forth is completely isolated. So that is something that needs to be looked at, urgently. The next thing is, our own buildings. We need to really think about how we're going to develop our tongue as we develop as a country, and we have an international airport that is expecting to bring in, a lot more traffic. Where is our tongue that people could just spend a day and shop and walk around from one store to the next? So are we going to develop that kind of infrastructure? We have government offices that are shut down or demolished because of the mold and stuff. But yet, you're renting buildings and we're doing different stuff that's not necessary. You're not really prioritizing what needs to be done, because the amount of money you spend in rent, it's just a waste of our money, our resources, So we need to really think about what what we're going to do with the tongue to develop it as a sustainable, feasible tongue that you don't have to drive from one store to the next or to the next and everything's scattered. And what we're going to do for accommodation and, stuff like that as far as our development of our airport goes. We have to have accommodation. You have to have medical facilities. So these are things that we need to prioritize and start having serious conversations about. Better roads, and more accommodation for the people that expect to be coming. Travelers.
Thank you, dear Mr. Harrigan. Wow, he jumped on it eagerly. Couldn't wait for me to finish. Mr. Rowan, you would have heard, is there a long-term national development plan, or are we just reacting as issues arise? What about our roads, our schools, or public services in keeping, are they keeping pace with development? Looking at the infrastructure.
To the best of my knowledge, the government of Angola had a very robust, comprehensive road development program sometime in 2005 under the Osman Fleming administration.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that there was a money road development program. As it relates to the roads, I think that the taxpayers are not getting value for money in the context that even if you was to look at the general road maintenance program and the way in which it goes about it, I think that, you have to commend the guys from that originally from public works and now they're in the private practice. But you could see that the fellas, they are starving, one, for capital. Secondarily, they are starving for technology. So I think that the government should try to see if assistance be given to the road maintenance program group, one way or the other. One may say, what the hell does government got to do with that? But government has to do with it because the government said they don't put people first. And when you put people first, you got to try to develop them, go on beyond the call of duty to help them develop themselves. And by developing themselves, they then will give you a better product. Because one could very well imagine that when you consume your vehicle, especially we recognize now that since with the introduction of the wall on the island, we're getting a lot of very new vehicles. And it would be a shame to know that people invest in new vehicles and you don't have the necessary improvements of maintenance of the road program to be able to mitigate against the wear and tear, the suspensions, the tires and others, to be able to help the same people that invest in these new vehicles to be able to play their loans and so on that they go into to be able to acquire this property. Now, also, it would seem to me that in general, that the government of Angola as an entity, not the government of the day, but the government as an entity, generally speaking, I don't think that they play enough focus and attention on the maintenance of the buildings. I think that they should, have a more structured maintenance program whereby that on an annual basis, they try to see if they maintain buildings so that they don't fall apart and it take extensive renovation over a given period of time. And I think that within itself will tell you the way in which, government thinks in terms of being able to lead the process of development and maintenance and sustenance of the island resources. I personally don't believe that there is no real structured national development plan for the island, and then followed by the fact that even if there was a medium to long-term structured plan based on the modus operandi of the different administrations, I don't believe that they will be inclined to stick to the medium to long term national development plan. That is the way I see it. I don't know if it is the way it is, but that is my perspective.
Thanks for putting it in some sort of perspective there. Vanya, I don't know if you missed anything that, because you were so eager to jump on that. And is there anything that Mr. Rawan didn't really point out that you would like to
Well,
speak to?
one thing
Or should I just proceed?
I want to point out that we got a minister of that department that is asleep because they can't hear or see nothing going on with him. We can't get a proper update of what's going on with England. You can't get a proper update of what infrastructure development is in progress or in the pipeline. I mean, we got a minister that doesn't really care. He doesn't really know what he's doing because, it's obviously nothing is moving. Nothing is happening. So he shuffle the ministry.
I didn't hear any one of you pointed out as to where the government should focus on its spending right now for maximum impact.
Well, first of all, the renewable energy is definitely will be a maximum impact, and that's why I think that out of all this AI money that we're collecting on a monthly basis, if they really thought about people, really wanted to help the people, they would have purchased that equipment for England and get it started. Instead of going through this long process of this loan and stuff like that, they would have given them a grant. Let them go ahead and run along and get it going, because that's the priority. That's what keeps things expensive, the energy. And then the next thing is prioritizing infrastructure like buildings, government buildings. We don't have government buildings. They're working from home, they're working from warehouses, they're working from different places, and it's ridiculous.
Well, we just came off the program whereby we had the promotion of agriculture, of which is one of our primary industries. And we could no doubt couple that with the whole initiative regarding the fishing industry. I think that a lot of focus and attention and the investment of capital should be done in those two particular areas if we were to be very mindful of the circumstances regarding challenges, global challenges that we are currently experiencing. So when the government of Angola should, in my view, just be mindful that we could just talk and we could just propose, but the question is, will the government of India be willing to take on those proposals? Yes, I do believe that if they be mindful that no one man is an island, and we succeed as a people in life if we listen to ideas across the spectrum and take the ideas that, in their view, best serves the wider interests of the masses, then it would be, as I would put it, a win-win for all the people of Angola.
Yeah, but energy and water is still one of the key factors for those industries to work. It costs a lot of fuel.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
So,
Can't do that without-
and the pipes are still sitting in the warehouse, right? So what are we doing?
Well, I guess that we will soon get a building out there. Remember that one of the reasons why
But
the Watkin Hard building was
yeah, but you gotta understand, guys.
It's a store of solar panels.
The silence is deafening. The silence is deafening. You're not hearing anything about the pipes.
Yeah, but
All right.
the pipes. Minister
This
County
is
pipe.
what we call meaningful discussion. Let's take a look at governance, trust, and accountability, because I want to ask both of you guys, do you think that the citizens of this country Do you think that they trust the decisions being made by leadership? Is there enough transparency in how public funds are used? I know Vanya spoke about secrecy some time back, so I could see him putting up his hand for this one. Is there enough? Okay, what mechanisms exist in holding leaders accountable? And are they effective? If they are, so we look at reforms. What reforms are urgently needed to strengthen governance? Vanya, I see your hand went up earlier.
No, I don't know. You talk about trust. I don't know if the public, I think that this government started off the way Trump government started off. He was very popular. People thought that a lot of things had been done because a lot of promises was made. And you see that it turned out to be a lot of lies and a lot of this deceit. And then the same thing happened with this government. They promised relief, they promised renewable energy, they promised a whole lot of things. And so far they throw little crumbs at you, 3 month here, 3 month that, cap on this, that's little crumbs to say they're giving you back something. While the big money is being spent somewhere else. Where's the area money being spent? How often do these guys travel? Where's this money being spent? You're talking $20 million a month. You understand? Where's this money being spent? They were heavily criticizing the previous government for putting this .ai on tender to be managed by a reputable company. And thank God that was the best thing ever happened to Anguilla. And so are we still gonna the previous administrator of that .ai owes the government some couple of $1 million. Where is this money being sought to be collected? You're not hearing anything about that. Where is this money? Are we gonna collect this money? They talk about we can't eat concrete. Concrete is what brings development. Concrete brings jobs. Concrete brings commerce. So I don't understand what is their agenda, because you're not seeing with the money. You're not seeing the value of the money being spent. You're not seeing the money being recycled back into the community. You're not seeing the economy changing. Now that Spirit have gone bankrupt and it shows you that a lot of airlines gonna now develop on prices. You brag about a good tourist season. I hope you brace yourself for this one coming, because it's gonna be a tough one. So are we ready for this? What are we got in place for as a cushion to fall back on?
We're on.
Yeah, so you talk about trust and the whole element of trust. And this
And
is
accountability.
And these two subject matters comes up from time to time. And the truth is that even when it comes to the method in which the government make decisions, and we got to be mindful that we empower a government to act on our behalf, right? But at the same time, one must understand that there are certain decisions that the masses should be implicated. Case in point, you talk about the whole initiative with the purchase of this house in London. For hell, the people of Anguilla does not to date know where we are as it relates to that initiative. When we gonna know? We don't know. They're just guesswork. We don't know whether they're moving forward with it. We don't know whether they're halfway towards it. We don't know if they forget about it. We don't know. We are guessing.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it was really a transparent government, we would have known by now where we stand with regards to this initiative. And I hope that sooner than later the people of Angola will know. Because in the first place, they should have never gone forward with this initiative unless they had public consultation, unless they developed a case for this particular initiative. I can't understand where we are. Look again, I must make reference to the building is on the ground. Why are you going to go and purchase a building
That's a waste of
when
money.
you had in Stoner Ground for $7 million that is arcade, very old building, over 60 years old, when you had approved drawings for ultra-modern building? Notwithstanding that,
That's a-
the building that was proposed to go on that lot of land adjacent to the ABC is a lease arrangement from the same government Anguilla for 99 years. So what the board of the directors that was selected by the Anguilla United Front have done is they have breached the lease agreement.
Yeah.
They have breached the lease agreement because that 1.52 acres of land was designated for administration building. So how are you going to breach the lease? A 99-year lease that was entered into in June of 2002. Breach the lease. And
Self-interest.
to add on to that breach of lease, that initiative was done by a former Anguilla United Front administration. So you could see that this AUF administration does not even have respect for the former administration. Because what they are doing is say, listen, in spite of the legacy that you were trying to build, bam, slap in the face.
Yep.
We don't give two hoots about that. We going out here and we doing our own thing. Because to hell with Oswald Fleming, to hell with Victor Banks, we is a new Anguilla United Front. And that's what they're saying. They have kicked them in their faces and said that they ain't doing what they started. We're going to do something new in a very old, derelict structure by a company that is 35 years of age. And I think to answer to your question, Mr. Sello, I could now say before the 2-year period that we are regressing. We are regressing. I have to.
He's taking a while to see that.
That we are
Yeah,
regressing. That's no question.
I kind of laughed
Too
a
much
bit
nonsense.
there.
Why not? Too much
No,
nonsense.
I laughed is because I remembered posing that said question to you, whether we are regressing or progressing. And you said, well, let's give them
A little more time.
a little more time before you, which I appreciated deeply. But now tonight, you
I have to conclude that we are regressing.
emphatically made your point.
That is regression for sure.
That going on. We are not going forward. We're moving
Okay.
back.
So I take it then, based on what both of you said here, I take it then that the citizens does not trust the decisions being made by the present administration leadership. And again, why? Because there is not enough transparency how the public funds are being used. Mr. Rwan made reference to a few issues, a few things. The house in England, the mansion, the building there in Stony Ground, mentioned those. So is there any mechanisms that exist for holding leaders accountable? If so, are they effective? Well, I guess there's none because,
Listen, there are mechanisms, right?
uh-huh,
But
uh-huh.
the thing is that there are also exploits. So let's take, for example, you got the the parliamentary opposition who are responsible from a legislative point of view to keep the government of the day feet to the fire, so to speak.
Accountable, yeah.
And when critical questions are asked for the benefit of the public, who the opposition in this case would be representing, to bring about clarity to certain circumstances. And the government darts around the questions. Even in some cases, they go on a rampage and respond in whatever area they care to. And this is unfortunate. So, what could you do with them under the circumstances? They are in control. They have control of the house in terms of numbers. So there's nothing you could do, so to speak.
But what reforms then, if you want to look at it from a different, what reforms that you feel that is probably urgently needed to sort of strengthen the governance?
Well, the thing is this, fellow, you're in a very awkward position because nobody can put a whip to cut their own backside. So you have the parliamentarians that are responsible for formulating laws and passing laws, right? They will not structure things that will come back to haunt them under the circumstances. The only neighboring country that I see do that is neighboring Dutch and Martin, that put things in place for the kingdom government to come and lock them up. That's the only country I see did that.
That's true.
And maybe that our island are very mindful of what taking place with the neighboring, the parliamentarians, the politicians in neighboring Sudan. So they ain't gonna allow that to happen. That's the way I see it.
All right.
The only thing I see is people speaking out.
Yeah, because
people are not
looking at
speak out, Brother Vanya, because of the vindictive nature
of course.
of government.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So you think that I'm on target right now?
Of course, you're on target. Don't get your
But
custom.
I don't care.
Mr. Ruan, continue to speak. Freedom of speech is democracy. Speak out. Let the message go out loud and clear. You are the voice of the voiceless.
Not outside of that, Selo, you must understand that if someone, and I said this already, I'll say it again. If we as a people respect the sacrifices that our ancestors went through pre-abolition of slavery, we will not behave in the manner in which we behave. We will respect emancipation. We will respect our freedom. And we have a constitutional right of the freedom of speech well within a certain parameter, a boundary, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you respect that, people will be more inclined to understand that when you look around to express your democratic right, you are being, in essence, re-enslaving yourself or reinventing the wheels of slavery, so to speak.
Vanya, what, in your view, Vanya, I want you to give me the top 3 actions from your perspective that you feel is needed immediately to stabilize and grow the country. What bold or difficult decisions must leadership be willing to make now? Must be willing.
Number one is health. Health is wealth. Without health, there's no wealth, because you can spend your wealth getting back health. You know, we have to have a national health insurance. Insurance is, people are scared to go to doctors because of the cost of the medical attention, and that's the problem. You know, they can't afford to go to doctors. They can't afford to get the medication needed. You know, we need to get that. That should be prioritized. Getting a national health insurance. Number two is renewable energy and water. Those are the main key resources. You know, to rely on fossil fuel, to rely on water, dripping here and there is agriculture. You can't even invest in that. You can't invest in condos or villas or anything like that, because you gotta have consistent water to supply these people with. So if you're in the tourism development, water is a key issue. Water for restaurants, that should be like on top of the list. Those are things that seems to be just dragging along. There's a schedule for those things to happen. There should not be a schedule. Those things should be prioritized to happen now. Renewable energy, water, constant water supply, and health, getting people to be healthy. We need to really be aggressive on these three things. And this government seems to lag along when it comes to they talk about the national insurance should be policy. They got opportunity to do it. They haven't done it. Make it law. That was one of the things they keep throwing in the House Assembly. I ain't hearing them moving towards that. They talk about doing national insurance and still no movement towards it.
The senior shield.
Yeah, your senior shield or junior shield. That they talk about that should be law. No, they're in government. No, why they're not making a law? I agree. It should be law because it should be something permanent. And matter of fact, it should just give it all that, do a national insurance for everybody, because this money that we continuously get in abundance, it should be helping the people, giving the people a better life. Somebody called me the other day and told me that some cleaners for the schools are making $700 EC a month. How could somebody live off of that? Even if it's a few hours a day, and that's the only job they got, the primary job, to clean the schools, because you need people to clean the schools, and they get paid $700 a month. You shouldn't even want to pay somebody that kind of money, because that's an insult. That's a shame. You can't live off of that. So, this whole way of government dealing with services and treating people, getting people to survive in the country, there's no clue. They ain't got no idea. They ain't got no. They don't care. I guess I would say to that, Harold.
So I could concur with you, Mr. Vanya, as it relates to health being of critical importance. What I've noted, and I have actual experience, that when it comes to diagnostics at the hospital, we fall below the average success when it comes to diagnostics. I have learned, for example, of an elderly citizen, senior citizen, that unfortunately fell and had some fractures. And when he went to the X-ray here in Anguilla, they only identify one fracture, I think. But when he went to overseas and they had another analysis, they found out that he had multiple fractures, different to the fracture that was being diagnosed, right? So there again, when it comes to ultrasound and CT diagnostics, I am telling you, based on my experience, the personnel that we have there, they are guessing the way through. I'm not asking you. I am telling you, it's my experience. We need to have more proficiency in diagnostics at our hospital. Because the only way that you could treat something, if you make a determination of what is the actual problem to be able to bring about the possible remedy to that problem. And I don't think that we have people of high competency in those areas. Maybe one, maybe two, but then you have shifts. When you have shifts, what happens? It's a problem. You get back in proper diagnostics. You get in proper diagnostics, you suffer. Maybe just put a cast on your foot and then to start a rat off next thing, then put it on the chopping block, chop it off.
That's it.
Those are them. So that is an area that you really have to look at very critically. Then what I have noted is that government does not really understand the broad responsibility when it comes to the development of businesses, in particular local businesses. Because you hear ministers talking about startup programs and all sort of nonsense like that. But guess what? The same seed they try to grow figuratively is the same seed that them strangle.
Yeah.
Where they strangle the seed is through immediate taxation. If you want to try to bring up a local business, if you want to start a business, why can't you give that local business 3 years minimum tax exemption? Exempt that business from taxation. You have to throw water on a seed for it to germinate and then subsequently for the tree to grow.
The fruit, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then subsequently it'll bear fruit. But if you can strangle the business from the onset by taxing the business, how you gonna expect growth? No, you're gonna expect strangulation of that business. So that is something that the government need to seriously look at when it comes to the development of the people and putting people first in terms of the development. So
Well said, dear brother. Well said. Well said. You spoke about a number of things there. When you're speaking to the health part of it there, that can lead to amputation and all that. As a matter of fact, you use the gross word chop off. But I am not going to go that route. I would just use this.
Again, Salo, I mean, I'm going to make a song and a dance of this because, as I said, when we had our agricultural guests on, the government of the day in particular, where they have all of these AI monies, they need to seriously procure lands, in particular in the line of agricultural lands, whereby our young people will be given the opportunity, at least to be given a lease arrangement, so that it would help kickstart our agricultural plot. Because we do know, there's no secret, that the young people in particular, some of the young people, if not most of them, have challenges whereby they cannot go across the island to work. So if they probably get a plot of land in the area where they are comfortable, they will be so inclined to get involved in gainful employment through developing themselves in agriculture. And I do hope that the government will come on board and take this initiative further, because it's overdue, in my opinion.
Agreed there. As we approach the 11 o'clock hour, final question for tonight. I'm going to stay with you, Harry, while you're on the line one time, then we'll switch it over to Vanya, and then we'll conclude.
Thank you very much.
One word to describe Anguilla right now. Right now.
One word.
Give me one word. I like to ask that because over the period we are seeing more regression than progression. So right now, the present state of Anguilla, one word, or maybe 2 words, or maybe 3 words. What is the biggest threat facing Anguilla today?
I would say sabotage. We sabotage ourselves. Self-sabotage. Self-sabotage.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree with you too on that. We made a bad mistake. I think that we're not prepared, and that's gonna be a devastating thing because God forbid to get a hurricane with this recession that's gonna hit us with this world economy downfall. Everything would collapse one time, and there's no true security. There's no real relief or help that is put forward for the people. So basically, you're just living day by day, waiting to see what the government gonna do next. It's like a hit and miss.
Hit and miss.
Yeah.
Okay, as citizens, you would want to know how can citizens play a more active role in shaping the nation's future? In what way can citizens play a role in shaping the nation's future? We, the citizens of this country.
Well, very elementary and straightforward, Selo. You simply get up and talk your mind. You speak your mind. You confront the government. Let the government know what you're thinking, and let them know about the proposed way forward. Because remember that the government the country don't belong to the government. The country belongs to we, the people of Anguilla. Because government always have the tendency to think that when you give them autonomy, the autonomy is to the abuse of the people. No, the autonomy is to assist the people in the way forward. But unfortunately, the government have the tendency to abuse.
So do you think then that do you see anything that will give you some sort of hope about Anguilla?
We are alive. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, he's right though. People gotta stop being so silent. People gotta speak up. Silence is consent. When the government is doing wrong or they're not doing enough or they're not doing anything, talk about it. People just, not because you support a party, feel like you're obligated to accept what they give you. You're obligated to a good life in your own country. They're getting paid. They're elected to do a job and keep the fire on their feet. You got to speak up. That's what's going to make a change.
Well, you hear the chatter on the island, and I speak with a lot of people on a daily basis, and even this evening I went by a place to get some cook-up, and she was applauding me about the show, and where people can speak up and speak their mind,
right?
Because the people are the government of this country. And the talk that I'm hearing louder now every day, and from some surprising factors too as well. Some people who I know for a fact are on the other aisle will come over to me and say to me, "Why, Selo, we ain't going nowhere." I would say, "What do you mean?" Selo, the country ain't moving up. Somebody pull up the handbrakes. So I would say, but you vote. Can they tell me straight up that they voted for this administration, and now they're saying? And earlier I would have heard Rowan spoke to that about promises.
Yeah.
There's a promise of comfort to a fool, and the people are saying that those promises were considered as empty promises. because now you have a chance to do what you touted on the campaign trail, to make it a reality. You said you are for the people, but yet you shut out the people. So therefore, no information brings about misinformation. And that's why there's much speculation in this nation as to what's
Where we going?
what the way forward. Because you do things, and yes, there's a certain element of secrecy.
A lot.
You know, what happened with the Bermuda thing? Is that still going to be? What happened there? You know, I mean, the people would have wanted to know more about how that whole thing was set about. You know, there's a lot of
Well,
questions and
yeah,
less answers that
I
we
just
are
want-
faced with.
I just want to let the public know, you know, we're not particular on any radio station, so we can't get banned from a station. We're not, you know, we are here that we would like to have, you know, if you want to come on and share your opinions or discuss, you know, topics or promotions, you know, let us know. You can bring you on. Every Saturday we try to be here. And, you know, the program is basically to enlighten and to, you know, debate, you know, as we put things together. And we really appreciate having people come on as guests. We hope next week we hopefully have more, some other guests that is going to talk about tourism. So it's not always political, but politics is still part of it, of everything. So,
Well, you know, Vanya, you live in a country where everything is politicized,
it is.
whether you like it or not. You know, politics don't always come up, but more and more people are coming out and talking. And that is where the citizens have to play a more role in shaping the country's future. Yes, you can elect a government. Yes, you get the government you deserve. But if they're not doing right by what you expected, because we say a lot of things on the campaign trail, and some of us that get hoodwinked. But now they're saying if they were to do it all over again, they're not going on false promises and stuff like that. I look, I am one of these days, I'm gonna record some of them and play back on the show really. But I do get it on a daily basis. You know, ever since we brought back the program In Your Face, you go around and people say, that's a very good program you guys got there. Keep it up. We like where you all discuss the issues. And then they would start to raise some topics and questions to me as to the way forward. Right. You see? And sometimes when I hear you guys speak to this government of the day, there's a certain amount of secrecy. You know, again, you're speaking your mind, you know, and you should not be condemned for speaking up, because that is what you're supposed to do. You are the government of this country. They are the elected ones to make the decision, but you are. So when you say that we put people first, when you say that, you must prove it. Action must speak louder than words. There should be no way, if you put the people first, that it would be, they're speculating because they don't have answers. There's many ways and avenues and platforms of how you can speak to the people direct. Have town hall meetings, you know, and stuff like that. Get people involved. Say what we are doing. We're doing with this house in London. Is because we are let them hear and you know, but you're not saying nothing, so nobody knows nothing, so no information being misinformation, as I alluded to earlier. So we got to get it right.
I heard that it would be used as a base for their absentee voters. I don't know.
Oh, geez.
But again, that's rumors. You know, how could we know whether this is a fact or not? I don't know. But I want to ask you all, gentlemen, because I don't know whether my head good or not. Can you all remember the figure $17.02 EC being a cap for the
The
fuel,
gasoline.
the gasoline? Is that a number you
That,
can remember?
that
Seventeen
was
dollars two cents.
Mr. Trent.
I cannot speak to that because I don't believe in rumors. I have
No,
to
no,
find
Oh,
out.
that was on
I'll have to
Facebook.
investigate on that.
no. It was posted on the government website. It's not a rumor. A minister
No.
posted on the government website.
It's $17.02. But now we look at
Wow.
$19.90 or something like that.
But he
But
tried
they
to play.
promised us that they would have
Maybe it's
kept
true,
it.
because
Not
I would have
maybe.
pulled up by the gas station to get some gas, and I would have put in the normal money, and I would have gotten probably 3 gallons of it. So you would see 2 gallons. So
It's like an
I think you're
action.
correct. You guys are correct. Because today, you see, I was not privy to this information here,
Yeah.
and today when I put in the money and I see I got a little less, I said, "Oh, okay, that's because of what's happening over there." So now that you saying this, guys, that jog my memory now. Yeah, because I got less. And
Yeah,
the other day there,
they didn't
you know
indicate
the
to the
other
people at Anguilla that they would have capped it at $17.02, but I don't know what gone wrong.
the other day there when there was a rumor that there was no gas on the island, and the cars were lining up from down by Webster's Park all the way up to Lakes gas station. And I don't understand what was going on, because the next day you could have pulled up by any gas station and get gas. Never mind. I can leave it there.
Yeah.
To be continued. Gentlemen, I want to say again a big thank you for, as usual.
Marcelo, before closing off, I think that we should all pay a special tribute to the family and loved ones of the last 2 deceased young men that lost their lives all the last week. And we, I think, collectively condemn this act of aggression. And we do hope that we as players in the Anguillan community will all contribute to see if we could curtail and eradicate these unwanted, nasty behaviors that really destroying the fabric of our young people here in this country. So
Yes,
again,
I go along with what you just said there, Mr. Rowan, because those heinous, we need to, as you say, eradicate, this scourge that is running rampant in our country. We are all one family here on the beautiful island of Anguilla. And just yesterday, I would have heard that a good friend of mine's, an avid, ardent listener to this program, In Your Face, you'd always meet me up and say, "Settle, I hear you, hear you." I'm like, "Why you think I hear you?" And he's been doing this to me for years when the program was running. I heard that he would have lost his life tragically. He just died. I don't know whether it's and I should have to say what the cause is of his death.
Well, that was the same person I talk about. We were employees that helped build the Mariana Hotel in the early 80s. And as I learned, and coincidentally, he happened to be the grandfather of a grandson of mine. And they said that he went to the hospital, diagnosed him as fish poison, and then he was treated. He was sent home, and then subsequently the day after, he became deceased.
Jeez.
So we really don't know fully what's going
Yeah,
on.
I was.
That
was really
situation.
That one hit me so hard. I didn't even want to do the program tonight, neither, as a result of that, because I could hear him every time he meet me up. I hear you, I hear you. You think I wasn't listening? I hear you. It is life, and as we say, such is life. But
to his family and all the houses that are in mourning at this time. We want you to know that we here on Upbeat, sorry, I did say Upbeat. We here on In Your Face program, we are standing in the gap with you. We understand and we hope that we could provide some sort of solace to your grieving hearts. And there's a saying that the world is not our home. We are all pilgrims just passing through. And that's the way it is. We are only borrowing time. Such is life, and we are deeply touched and deeply saddened by his passing. And as I mentioned, the houses that are in mourning at this time. It's not easy to lose a
lot of
loved
bleeding
one.
hearts, a lot of bleeding hearts.
Yes, it's not a good one. So from me to you, I see I'm getting all into that vibe there. From me to you, our viewing audience, on behalf of Mr. Rowan Harold, the voice of the voiceless, Mr. Vanya Harrigan, I am yours truly, Melo Cello the First, and I'm saying thank you again for tuning in, whether you were listening to us via the Facebook page or by radio, wherever you were listening to us at this time. Continue to share the live, Remember, we'll be back again, life last, with another blast of the In Your Face program. Join us.
In your face. In your face. What may not like you. In your face, in your face, in your face, in your face. In your face, Island vibes, we bring it true to light night. Turn up the sound, let the people unite. From the heart of PF, we speaking it clear. Real talk, real change in your face, we in your face. We say it bold, no delay. Troop and vibes every Saturday. Voices rise, let the whole world hear. We bring the fire in your face, right here. In your face, 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 in your face. We talking life, we talking change, we talk solutions. From the street to leaders, sparking revolution. No filter, no fear, just real conversation. Building up the proof, uplift the nation. Ideas flow like the ocean tide.